Welcome to Expertsoft Trainings. Expertsoft is one of the leading training organization that provides high-quality training on SAP S4HANA Extended Warehouse Management training with professional real-time trainer. This training will help you to work on the project and to clear the certification also. Detailed overview on the SAP S4HANA EWM.
For your introduction, and I can see there are mixed bunch of people. There are few people who are fresher. There are few people who has intermediate experience, and there are some people who has 9 to 10 years of experience, or 10 plus years of experience in this group. Don't worry, we'll try to see all the topic from the scratch. And here we are. Here, this is a demo session. There are few topics which I'm going to cover in the demo session as well. So basically, this particular course is for your S4HANA EWM embedded version. Don't worry about the jargons or the word what is embedded in this demo session itself. We are going to see in detail what is embedded version, what is EWM, and those things we will see that. Okay, but before we go into SAP and see what is EWM, first of all, you should know what is warehouse. Okay, right now we are not talking about SAP, we are not talking about any ERP as a functional consultant, because this training is for functional consultant person, or whomsoever wanted to become a EWM functional consultant. This training is functional consultant centric training. Okay, so you should understand the business first, then we will understand EWM configuration or business scenario, which how you can configure it. Okay, so first of all, you need to understand the business, then you need to understand the business scenario, and then you need to we'll go for the configuration, how you can map those scenario. Okay, so first of all, we'll see what is warehouse. Okay, here we are not talking about any SAP or ERP. So what is warehouse? Warehouse is a storage facility where you are keeping your goods or storing your goods for a temporary purpose, and whenever your customer demands certain product or goods, you should be able to pick those product from your warehouse and issue it to your customer. Okay, simple. Now, why warehouse management is required? Okay, warehouse management is basically required because here you can see in this diagram, you have three kind of warehouses. First warehouse is a very small warehouse facility where the goods coming in and going out, the frequency and volume is very low. And yes, indeed, this will be used for the storage. Okay, and whenever customer send you the requirement, you can easily issue the goods. There will be no issue to find the stock because it's a very small facility. On another hand, in second warehouse, which is on your right hand side screen, here you have a quite big facility. Again, the volume of goods coming in and going out is in high number as compared to the previous warehouse. But and in addition to that, also wanted to use batch management or quality inspection kind of functionality. And yes, you can still manage the things here, but I would like to shift your focus into the third warehouse, where it is a very complex warehouse where you have multiple doors and a very huge warehouse facility, and the volume of goods coming in and going out on a daily basis is a very high. And you are also using some complex processes like cross docking, then automated warehouse system, batch management, and all those things are you wanted to use that in this complex warehouse. And you want that there should be one seamless solution, and it should also integrate with other department or other modules which you are using, like finance, purchasing, sales order. So they should all work together. Okay, so in such an environment, in such a complex environment, you need one warehouse management solution which will integrate with other modules or other department in your organization. Okay, when I say integrate, means whenever they create a purchase order, and create an inbound delivery, they should able to send you the inbound delivery in warehouse, and the warehouse team, whatever they update it in inbound delivery, they can again send back to the purchasing department. So the information is like going in both the direction. Okay, so it has to be integrated properly with other departments, as well as it should also able to perform all the complex warehouse functionality. And again, the storage is the primary thing for warehouse, right? Because you are going to store your product. So for those kind of warehouses, you need one warehouse management solution. Okay, in this slide, any doubt, any question in this, guys? Okay, I'll take it as no. Okay,
No.
okay, excellent. So now we understood what is warehouse, we understood why warehouse is required. Now we'll see what are the function which we want in warehouse management system. Okay, let's say we need a warehouse management system, we understood that, but what are the basic features or basic function of your warehouse? So why we are using warehouse? Because you wanted to store your product. So first and foremost thing in your warehouse management system is to you should be able to track and trace your product. When I say track and trace means how you are going to find your product in your warehouse. Let's say your sales order has been created, your customer requirement is coming, and you need to fulfill that requirement. Okay, so at that time you are taking 2 hours to search your product in your warehouse because your warehouse is so big, but you are not able to find your stock where somebody has placed it in uh, backyard of your warehouse, and you are not able to find that. So that should not be happen. Okay, so the first and foremost function of your warehouse management system is you should be able to track and trace your product. Okay, you should be able to pinpoint your product, where your warehouse is uh, within your warehouses. Okay, so that is the first and foremost thing. You should be able to track and trace. The second one is you should able to do the control goods movement. Okay, so whenever if you go to a pharmaceutical industry, you cannot give the access, okay, certain areas access to everybody. Okay, you need to restrict that. So you wanted to control your goods movement within your warehouse. Okay, so you can do that. You should be able to record all your goods movement. So if you have worked in SD, FI, PP, or any functional area, you know whenever you create any transactional data in SAP, there will be some document will be created in If you post a good receipt, so there will be a material document will be created, right? So that material document is nothing but the record. Okay, who has created that good receipt, when it was modified, and all those things will be recorded in that. So similarly, when you post any transaction in your warehouse, okay, system should able to generate certain document so that you can backtrack it. Okay, so suppose if you are receiving the goods, or if you have moved one product from one area to another area in your warehouse, system should be able to record those movement. Okay, and you can easily backtrack, okay, who has moved this, why he has moved this, all those details will be recorded in the session, okay, or in the transaction. Okay, so these are the basic features of your warehouse management system. Okay, now so far we are discussing what is warehouse management system. Now what SAP has to offer, okay, in this particular area. So you know SAP has various modules like SD, FI, PP, QM, like all your functional modules. You have various modules, but initially when SAP was introduced, you have only core modules. Okay, when I say core modules like FI, SD, those are the core modules. Okay, and PP, so those are the core modules, and there was no warehouse management solution when SAP has initially introduced. Okay, but gradually SAP realized that okay, there is a requirement in warehouse. Okay, a lot of production plant were using warehouse to store their raw material and semi-finished product and finished product. So what they did is they introduced a lean warehouse management. So again, lean warehouse management is a very simple concept. So you can perform all your simple warehouse related functionality like picking, packing, shipping, but your inventory management was taking place at a storage location level. Okay, so there was no separate organizational structure for your warehouse. Okay, then SAP has released their R3 version 2 in 1993. At that time, they have introduced SAP WM module. This module became very popular in a shorter period of time because it has a separate organizational structure. Okay, so your inventory management previously was taking place at a storage location level, but if you activate SAP WM, your inventory management will take place at a bin level, at a very small level in your warehouse. It is the smallest level in your warehouse. Okay, and there are other benefits as well. You can use RF radio frequency solutions, so you might have seen in warehouse uh, or even in your grocery stores, you see those RF scanners. Okay, they will scan the barcode and everything will register in your system. So you can also integrate RF devices with your SAP, and it 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 gave a mobility in your warehouse, because warehouse user, the end user or the worker, cannot take laptop with him and run for picking and put away. Okay, so you need some mobile device which is light in weight, but it will do your work, right? So those things are there in this SAP WM, and it become very popular. Okay, now after that, SAP has introduced a decentralized warehouse. What is decentralized warehouse? So far, SAP WM was in the same server or in the same box where you have other SAP modules. So everything was there, and there were some performance issues and all those things. But warehouse should run 24 by 7. You cannot take downtime. So what they did, they removed the SAP WM module from their client, and put it in a separate different box, so that you have a better performance in your warehouse. Okay, that we'll see it in upcoming slides as well, what is decentralized warehouse. And then SAP extended warehouse management was introduced. So initially, SAP Extended Warehouse Management, or EWM, was not for your SAP ERP or SAP S4HANA. So when it was invented, or when it was introduced on SCM. So SCM is a separate product from SAP, that is called Supply Chain Management. Okay, and all the initial versions of EWM, because the EWM was introduced on this particular product. So all the initial versions like 5.0, 7.0 till 9.4, all older versions are on SCM module or SCM product. But when SAP S4 HANA was introduced in 2015, they realized that, okay, to boost SAP S4 HANA, they should incorporate this popular modules in S4 HANA. So what they did, they taken this EWM module and place it in S4 HANA in the next release, that is in 2016. They put EWM in S4 HANA system. However, this was not meant for S4 HANA. This was initially applied on, or made for SAP supply chain product, right? So that's why they have called it or name it as a embedded. So it is a embedded EWM on S4 HANA. Okay. So far, any question on this? How the SAP or warehouse management solution evolved over the period of time from the SAP point of view? Guys, any questions?
No, Ashish.
No, Ashish, not so far.
Okay, excellent. I need just some
No,
acknowledgement.
no.
Yeah, thank you so much. So see, all the like the newer version, EWM version on S4 HANA is 9.5. Okay, so if somebody asks you in interview as well, you should be able to answer those questions. Okay, what is the version you have worked on, or what version you have worked on, or what is how you can say that what is the version in S4HANA. So you should be able to understand or give the answer that okay, 9.5 is an embedded version, embedded EWM version on S4HANA. All the previous versions of EWM was in supply chain. Okay, don't worry, we'll still going to discuss this topic again and again whenever we see those differences from your SCM EWM and S4 HANA embedded EWM. Okay, we'll see it in upcoming slide. So there are certain some differences that we are going to discuss. Okay, now these are the same slides whatever we have so far discussed. These are the same slides. So this is the point number 3 where SAP WM warehouse management SAP WM module. So what is SAP WM? SAP warehouse management is like, see, uh, SAP EWM is in the same server or in the same box where your SAP ERP or SAP ECC 6.0 is there. Okay, so they are in the same box. And if you see here, inventory management is now started placing or working on your storage bin level, not at a storage location level. Then you can also do radio frequency solutions in your SAP WM. You can integrate it, the and you can also do your regular activities like picking, put away, internal movements in your SAP WM. Now, apart from that, again, SAP is a very good connectivity with your third party or automated softwares, right? So that is again an advantage. So soon this module become very popular. Okay, now we discuss about the decentralized warehouse. So how it works. So basically you have just removed your SAP WM module into a separate or different server or different client. As you can see, there are two clients and both are integrated with standard BAPI connector. Why we are doing this? Why we are decentralizing your warehouse? Because better performance, 24 by 7 availability, and low risk of downtime. So these are the advantages of this deployment option. Okay. And then we have discussed SAP EWM. Whether it is in SCM or in S4 HANA, there are some basic functions like inbound process, outbound process, and internal operations. Okay, so basically in warehouse you can do all your processes are divided in three segments. One is your inbound process, another one is your outbound process, and third one is your internal operation. When I say inbound process means your if your goods is coming in your warehouse, within your warehouse, then we'll call it as a inbound process, like your good receipt, then your inbound quality management. If your goods is going out from your warehouse, whether it is scrapping, whether it is your good issue to your customer, then it will come under your outbound process. Okay, so outbound delivery, then picking, optimization, or staging, loading management, packing, all those things will come in your outbound. There are some internal operations like physical inventory. So every year your warehouse will check whatever stock they have. They will count all the stocks and they will compare with your bookkeeping system. When we say bookkeeping system means your SAP ERP or S4 HANA system. Okay, they will check it and they will post the difference. If you have, let's say, warehouse is saying that material A is of 100 quantity in your SAP, but physically at your warehouse floor the product is having only 90 quantity. So there is a 10 is a difference. So you can post that difference and there will be a financial entry for that. Okay, there are certain other features like reporting and analytics, then labor management, cross docking, yard management, then you have automated warehouse system, then you have RF. Those are the EWM processes. Okay, before I move ahead to deployment option, any questions, guys?
No, no.
No.
Excellent. Okay, now,
Yeah, so Tom, so one
yeah,
question would be when it was from the previous slides, okay. So you were saying inventory management, right? So is this one interrelated or what? And you were saying inventory management, uh, previously we were having storage location as the base unit, right? The last unit. So here you were saying something I couldn't follow it. Pallet?
okay.
Pallet?
So uh, initially, if you see, you have module. Okay, so what is the organizational structure for module is purchasing like company code, plant, and storage location. Okay, so storage location in this environment, storage location is the smallest organizational unit. So if you wanted to move the stock or place the stock, you are going to place it at a storage location. Okay, now if you want to activate SAP WM, then there will be a separate organizational structure for SAP WM, like your warehouse, storage type, storage section, and under storage section there will be a bin. Okay, now this warehouse will come under your storage location. Let me show you that. I was supposed to show you that slide afterwards, but yeah, see here. So this is your plant storage location, and under your storage location, whatever warehouse structure you are going to create, that will be below your storage location level. Okay, so warehouse has a separate organizational structure like storage section, storage so storage type, storage section, and bin. So now your inventory is going to take place at a bin level, not at a storage location level. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So don't worry, we'll see that organizational structure. We are going to create those organizational structure. We'll take one example so that you can understand it properly. Okay, don't worry, we'll see that.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Now, deployment option. When I say deployment option means how in your client's environment, if you are taking a SAP licensing, then how you want to deploy EWM system. So let's take a few examples. Let's take if your customer is having a ERP or SAP ERP or ECC 6.0, that is a previous there is a separate SAP ERP. A lot of people who has this experience, they know what is SAP ECC 6. So it is the business suite which SAP was using, again a product which SAP was selling, which is popularly known as SAP to everybody. Okay, like whenever they say SAP means they are referring to SAP ECC 6. Okay, initially. So in that you have those modules SAP MM, SD, PP, QM. Okay, and on that SAP ECC 6 you do not have EWM. Why? Because the EWM, as I told you initially, was meant for SCM product. So if you want to use EWM, you have to take SCM licensing. Now SCM has other popular modules like APO, then you have TM, transportation management. You have heard, maybe you have heard on that. It is again a very niche skill. So those modules were initially introduced in SCM. Okay, those are the modules for SCM product. So if you want to use EWM, you have to take licensing and you need to integrate your SCM server to your ERP system. Okay, now in that you need to take whole SCM licensing. If you want that, okay, I'm just going to use EWM as a standalone, then you can use that as well. You can use SAP EWM and you can integrate with your SAP ECC. Okay, so that was the first option. Like these are like very old, like this is available since 2006. Okay, still there are certain clients which I know that they are still on ERP and they are using SCM, and they are integrating their EWM system with their ERP system ECC6. But in 2015, as I told you initially, when SAP S4HANA was introduced, again EWM was not there. So again, they were all the customer which like whomsoever has adopted S4HANA, if they wanted to use EWM, they still have to take SCM licensings. Okay, if they wanted to use SAP EWM standalone, they still can do that and again integrate it. But in 2016, SAP like removed this module from SCM. Removed means it is still available. If you have the licensing, you can still use it. But there are certain advantages of embedded version. We'll discuss it in our upcoming slides. Okay, so what they did, they provided EWM module on your S4 HANA system. However, it is not fully integrated. It is a embedded version. Okay, so there are some connection or connectivity you need to do it to activate your EWM warehouse. Okay, and those connection or activities we will see it in our next two classes, two to three classes, where we'll establish all organizational structure, we'll do that connectivity, and you will understand what is it. Okay, but this is an embedded EWM. So after 2016, the embedded version on S4 HANA is available, and right now our focus is on this area. So in our training system we have this availability that we have an embedded EWM, and we are going to practice it everything in this environment. Okay. Okay, so data transfer. So how the data is getting transferred. Okay, now we'll do a little bit comparison so that we'll get an idea how the previous versions of SAP was working on SCM, and now what is the difference in embedded. So there are certain slides which I have added intentionally because there might be some questions, interview questions, or even in a general sense you should be able to answer if somebody asks you. Okay, like that, they are like general knowledge kind of thing. Okay, so I'll put some comparison between EWM on SCM and embedded EWM on S4 HANA. So what are the basic differences? Okay, so see, this is the first slide. So there is a data transfer. Okay, now there are in SAP there are three kind of data. One is a transactional data, second is your master data, and third one is your configurational data. What is configuration data? Configuration data is a data which you will modify to map your business scenario. For an example, if I wanted to create a purchase order, if I wanted to create a purchase order for let's say domestic purchase order. Okay, so I will configure my SAP in a such a way that I will be able to create a domestic PO. In another business scenario, if I wanted to use STO, or the intercompany stock transfer. Let's say I have two companies, and they are transferring the stock from one company to another company. So on those cases I need to configure my SAP system in a such a way that I should be able to map those business scenarios. So that is your configuration data. The second data is your master data. What is master data? You will create one master data, and you are going to reuse those master data. Okay, for an example, if I'm creating a material master, so what I will do, I'll create one material number. To that number I will give material description, their base unit of measurement, their purchasing department which is going to be procure, and all those things I'll maintain it once. And whenever I create a purchase order, I'm not going to give all those detail again. I will just give that material number and press enter. Everything will fetch it from that master data. So that is called master data. Okay, that is a one time master data which will be reused again and again in your regular day-to-day environment. The third one is your transactional data. What is transaction data? The transaction data is your day-to-day activity, or which you are going to perform it in your business, like creating purchase order, okay, or creating a sales order. So those are the transactional data you are going to create every day, data punching you can say. Okay, so there are three set of data. One is transaction data, master data, and configuration data. We are not going to discuss right now about configuration data, that we'll discuss it later on. But in your day-to-day environment for your warehouse, you are going to create your transactional data, and those transactional data which you are going to create in your SAP ERP system, you need to distribute those transactional data from your ERP to your EWM system, SCM EWM system. I'm talking about this model deployment option. Okay, where you have integrated your ERP with your SCM server, and you wanted to integrate or communicate one system to another system. So for that you are going to use QRFC methodology. Okay, so there is a methodology called QRFC which will transfer your master data from your ERP to SCM EWM, and from SCM EWM to your ERP. Okay, don't worry, in our upcoming classes we'll see what is QRFC, what is Q monitoring, what is SMQ1 and SMQ2. You will get it. Lot of things we need to discuss it on this, but right now just remember the method. Okay, it is a method that is called as a QRFC. Okay, now regarding your master data, so you have few master data like plant, shipping point, customer master data, vendor master data, and your material master data. Okay, so those master data will be SIF, or they will transfer from your ERP to SCM via core interface. Okay, API core interface. In short, they are calling it as a SIF. Okay, so core interface. Now this, if you see, observe closely, this is one way. Okay, there is no reverse arrow. So always you are going to create your master data in ERP, and that will going to distribute to your EWM or SCM EWM system. But the transactional data is two-way. Why? Because you are going to create a inbound delivery. You are going to do good receipt here. Once you do a good receipt posting, that again going to be updated in your ERP system. Okay, so this is data transfer methods in the deployment option which we discussed, where you have ERP and SCM system. Any questions so far? I am expecting some question on this slide, or is it clear, guys?
Yeah, for me, no questions.
Okay.
Ashish, I have one doubt. Like
Go ahead.
if it's right now we are working on S4HANA, right? So I think the business partner would flow automatically from S4HANA master data to SCM master data, right?
Yes, yes. So in current scenario, okay, so see, now I'm doing a side by side comparison. I was expecting some question on that. So see here, if you are doing if you are SAP SCM EWM is connected with your ERP system, that your ERP is like using term called customer master and vendor master. Okay, and you have separate transactions. But in SAP SCM, we are not calling it as a customer because it is a business partner. So now in S4 HANA in 2015, we heard this terminology called business partner, but in SCM, this is like way back they are using this terminology. Okay, since 2006 they are using business partner. So basically this business partner functionality has been copied from SCM in S4 HANA. Okay, so whenever you wanted to distribute your customer or vendor, you are going to sift your customer and vendor from your ERP to your SCM EWM. But here in your EWM system, like embedded EWM and S4 HANA, you are not going to sift anything. Okay, because all the, like both the system are in the same box or in the same server, so they are using the same set of table. So you do not have to create any master data or sift any master data. Okay, so that's why there will be no core interface is required. Okay, because both the system are using the same set of master data, like in material master as well. Here I have taken the example for material master. So regular transaction mm01 will update your mara and all those tables in S4 HANA, and the same set of table will be picked up from by EWM system, embedded EWM system, and it will populate. So basically, in nutshell, if I wanted to say, there is no core interface in your embedded EWM. But for transactional data, yes, there will be a QRFC, just like your SCM system, you have your QRFC that I have taken here. So for your regular transactional data, previously you have this QRFC. Here the same, you are going to use QRFC in your embedded system. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes. Just one more doubt. If it is not the embedded one, then
If it is not embedded one, then yes, you need to sift those more master datas.
okay, then this shift process will work.
Yes, yes. Then you need to sift it.
Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Ashish. I
Yep.
have a doubt. Actually, can you clarify? This ERP is the initial state when the SAP is introduced, like when the warehouse management was implemented in the SAP. So initially they used ERP is a server or it's like a. Oh, I'm a little bit confused. Can you clarify?
So there are separate products. Okay. Okay. Let me open a Excel so that I can explain you. Okay. So SAP ERP, or I will say SAP ECC 6.0, it's a product. Okay. Uh, it's a
Okay.
product. Then you have SAP SCM is again a new product.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
And SAP S4 HANA
HANA.
is again a new product. Okay. So like
Okay.
if I
Okay.
talk you
So,
in a
so,
very
so
rough
ERP
or
is a
layman
server.
language, yeah, if I talk you a very layman language, you let's say you have taken a PC. Okay, that PC is a Windows PC. Okay,
Okay.
so to store whatever you are going to work on Windows PC, you need to store something, right? Because
Yeah.
if you have taken a laptop or PC, you are going to work on something. You will create Word, Excel, or something like that. Those
Yeah.
details has to be stored, right? So they have
Yeah. Yeah.
given you a hard drive of,
Hardware, hard drive.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sure. It's
similarly
the
for
same
this
level.
product,
It's
you
like
have
ERP.
servers.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I
So
get it. I just.
servers, like you have the server one for your
Yeah. I
SAP.
agree. Understood.
Okay.
Understood. Understood.
So
Thank you.
similarly, like that's what I'm trying to convey in my previous slides. Okay, now if I go back, I hope you can recollect this now. So when so see here. So in this, like this is one server. In that you have like install your SAP ECC. So all your modules are in there. Okay, like SD, WM. Okay, but in decentralized version, what you did, you created two servers. Okay, you
Okay.
install ERP, two separate ERPs. One is like your all containing all your module FI, FMM, and on all those things. But the other client or other server is having a SAP WM module, only SAP WM module. Why we are emphasizing on SAP WM? Because your warehouse is running 24 by 7, and there will be lot of transactions are happening. Okay, so previously what was happening, that you cannot take a downtime, okay, like for warehouse. So there are many a times if you merge both the things, like you have a lot of data and you need to set up your infrastructure correctly. If you do not want to take a downtime for your warehouse, it is better you install it in a separate client or server.
Yeah. So I
Okay, so these
understand. So
boxes are
what?
referring to the servers or client.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So whatever one of the first ERP for the inbound outbound, we will work on this. So the another ERP server will not be disturbed for
Yes,
that anything. So
yes.
after that, it will be like intercession using BAPI. It will be updated in the both like a transactions, right?
Yes, yes. So they are connected with the standard BAPI connectors. Yes, you are right. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Clear,
So
clear.
similarly here also, like the SCM is a separate product. So it has your separate server. Okay.
Okay,
And ERP ECC is using a separate server. So to integrate both the system, you need a certain mechanism, right? So that they can communicate with each other. Okay. Otherwise you create a transaction data, but this will not work because it has not received anything. So you need to
hmm.
create certain data and transfer it to this system, so that this system will know that okay, I need to work on this inbound delivery.
Okay, okay. Clear,
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
Okay,
But
thanks.
in your this embedded one, you do not have to worry because both of them are in
Both
the
are in
same
the same server.
box or same box, but your EWM is still embedded. It's not a integrated module, right? That's why you still need a QRFC to transaction or for transaction data to like communicate. Okay, but for master data they are using the same set of table. Okay, so you do
So
not need SIF.
that means it will be in the same server, but we'll still have this transactions.
Yes. So for transaction data, you are going to still use a QRFC because EWM is an embedded one, and still you are going to use a logical system. Okay, that is a
Okay.
logical system. It is not a
Okay.
separate client or separate system, but will create some logical system for your S4HANA and logical system for your EWM, and there will be a transactional data communication going on via QRFC between those.
Sure. What is BS?
BS is your business system. Like that is for your, they will create a business system and they will assign that client to that. Okay, there is sort of basis guys will do that activity. You do not have to worry, but still I have showcased that in this slide so that you can understand that, okay, this is one client or this is one box that is your business system. And under that business system, you have a separate logical systems for your S4 HANA and your EWM.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. Clear. No
Yeah.
questions. Thanks.
Okay. So ask your questions. Like if you have any questions, just go for the questions because it will also clear somebody's doubt. Like maybe he's not able to express the question. So try to ask your questions, whatever you have. Just interrupt me in between and ask your question. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Ashish,
So yes.
I have a small doubt. That means we are having QRFC here.
Yeah.
So, what is the meaning of QRFC?
QRSC is a methodology which you will use to transfer your data. Okay, so SAP has certain methods to communicate or to integrate with the systems. Okay, so you have separate
Okay.
systems. Okay, so because you need to communicate. So if you are using, so SAP is a standalone system, but every time you have some third party system or any other SAP system itself, right? So in this case also you have a SAP product. One SAP product has to communicate with another SAP product, right? So for that they are using QRFC. Okay, so that it is a channel between both the system, and your transaction data will go and flow from one end to another end. So for that again you need to do a handshake, you need to define the ports, and you need to set up both the systems. Okay, but don't worry, as a functional consultant you do not have to worry about it. Your basis consultant should work on that and provide you those details.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
having one more doubt.
Hmm.
We are having inventory cards, no? Inventory.
Inventory.
We are
So,
having inventories. Be,
okay, now what what you think about inventory, like can you just rephrase your question, because inventory is a very vast term from the functional point of view.
uh, yeah, my what I mean to say is, inventory is nothing but whatever the material we are having with us, we will maintain the stock list, isn't it?
Stock list, yes, yeah. So obviously this, see, the whole objective about warehouse is to maintain your inventory, right? You wanted to maintain your stock is nothing but your inventory. Okay, so if you see in a business jargon terminology, it's a inventory, right? So whatever you are going to maintain in your warehouse, will call it as an inventory, and there will be a reports via which you can list out all the inventory which you have in your warehouse.
So in that inventory only we will get this inbound and outbound documents also.
Okay, so how you will get your inventory? Let's say you have a very fresh warehouse. Okay, you have created or built a new warehouse, and right now that warehouse is empty, right? So how you are going to fill that warehouse?
by placing some modules and all.
No. Now see here, this is the difference. You need to think like a functional consultant or a business analyst. So let me take a very simple example. Let's say you bought a house. Okay, now
Okay.
that house or that apartment is empty. Now you need to buy some furniture. Okay, you need to put some furniture in that your apartment. What you will do?
We'll
Sorry
purchase
to
a.
interrupt. Yeah, we will make a purchase order. We will take the delivery
Excellent.
notes and we will.
So yes, so what you will do, you will go to the market, you will find a supplier who is supplying your furniture. So what you will do, you will create a purchase order as an organization. That purchase order will be converted into your inbound delivery. On that inbound delivery, everything will be mentioned that this is the product, this is the date on which this product will arrive at your warehouse, and that is your inbound delivery. So you are going to generate those inbound delivery, and those inbound delivery will be distributed to your EWM system whenever stock will arrive at your warehouse. Okay, and then you will do the good receipt. So you will take those goods in so that your stock will increase. You will create a inventory in your warehouse.
Okay.
Similarly, whenever your customer will say that, okay, I need 100 quantity of this stock, so what you will do, you will create a sales order. That sales order will convert it into your outbound delivery. That outbound delivery will distribute it to your EWM system, and you will do the good issue against this delivery. So your stock will reduce, your inventory will reduce. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now in next class, we'll see a lot of other things as well. We'll see how you can establish this QRFC. So there is a distribution model which we are going to develop. We'll see it in very much detail, how you can create the distribution model and all those things. So right now I'm not covering those slides because we are going to take it in very much detail in our upcoming sessions. Okay. Okay, now we'll talk about organizational structure. What is organizational structure? It is company code, plant, storage location. Okay, so this is your plant and storage location. Let's say you have two storage location with one plant, and all your warehouse structure will coming below your storage location. Okay, so everything which you are going to create for your warehouse will come under your storage location. So to activate your EWM, you need to do certain configuration or settings to act. Uh, 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 i- so you will create SAP WM warehouse which you are going to assign with your EWM warehouse. Okay, so we'll create SAP WM warehouse which is 3-digit alphanumeric number, and you will also create SAP EWM warehouse which is 4-digit alphanumeric number, and you are going to assign with each other. Okay, but here you are not going to extend or create any further structure in SAP WM, because like you are not going to use SAP WM module, you wanted or intended to use SAP EWM. So all your further warehouse structure will be created under this SAP EWM warehouse. Okay, now what are the further structures? So under the warehouse you have your storage type. Storage type, under you have storage section and bins. We'll discuss this in our next class, what is storage section, storage type, bin and all those things. But here it is just a blueprint of one of the warehouse where you have doors, you have staging areas. Okay, staging area is a temporary area where you are going to unload your goods, so it is also called as GR zone. Similarly to your staging area, you have staging area for your outbound or GI zone. Okay, good issue zone. Then you have high rack storage types where you can further subdivide your high rack into two sections, fast moving and slow moving. Under each section you have bins, and each bin is the smallest organizational structure in EWM, and your inventory is going to take place at this level. Okay, or your stock is movement will happen at this level. Then you have packaging area, yard management, door. So in our next class, we are going to create one organizational structure for your ERP or for your S4 HANA. We'll create an organizational structure for your EWM system. We'll create warehouse, we'll create all storage type sections, and then we'll go for the integration steps which we discussed. We will also create a distribution model for your warehouse. We'll assign your SAP WM warehouse to EWM warehouse. So there are certain steps which we are going to perform to activate your EWM warehouse. Okay, so that would be the agenda for our next session. I'm hoping that all of you will join this course, and will together will learn a lot of other things about EWM. Okay, before I wrap up, any questions so far from the slides, or if you have any doubt or questions in your mind regarding EWM, please go for it. Forum is open for you.
Hello Ashish, I have a question but not regarding the EWM. I just wanted to ask you whether this class would be on the weekend batch or it would be the weekdays batch.
Good question. Can you just check with Naveen after this session? Just check with Naveen. I'm not sure for this. Naveen will be the appropriate person to answer that question.
Okay. Okay. And what would be the duration for this batch?
So for this batch, generally will take around 2.5 months time. Okay, and will mostly will cover those all the topics. Okay, but depends upon the like there will be plus or minus something weeks will be happen. So yeah, so somebody like sometimes people will bunk the sessions, or maybe I have to bunk it sometimes. So yeah, but mostly it will be there. But if it is on weekend, then yes, it will take that much of time. For weekdays, we are going to take like again 3 to 4 hours per week. So again, like that would be the same time. 2 to 2.5 months would be sufficient for completing this course.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions, or we can wrap up the session if there are no questions?
Hello, Ashish.
Yeah,
So this is the last one, the like warehouse 1010. This is the only one. In this last slide only, like in our practical training session, you are going to explain like this is are the only the last slide like we will have in the training session, or we have many things to discuss.
there are
Just
so many things. See, I have like a lot of slides here. Okay, but I
uh,
cannot discuss all the slides in 45 minutes of time. Okay,
sure.
so this is just a demo session so that you can get an idea. Sometimes
Okay, okay.
like some of the students wanted to know like whether they are able to understand it or not. Some are the expert one, like they already know some things, but they wanted to check whether trainer's speech is correct or not, whether they are able to understand what I'm saying. So for that we are keeping this demo session, and you will also get an idea about it, okay, whether this EWM is working for you or not. But yeah, don't worry, we have a lot of documentation. So how I'm working, basically I will first of all discuss the theoretical part or the conceptual thing. I will discuss it, then we will discuss the business scenario around that particular topic. Let's say I'm talking about yard management, so I'll explain you what is yard management on slide. Then we'll discuss one business scenario. We'll take one business scenario because there will be a n number of business scenario. We cannot cover all the business scenario, but we'll take one business scenario. I will explain you that business scenario in and out. Then we will configure that business scenario in our training system, and then we'll run that business scenario end to end business scenario, so that you will get an idea what is yard management, how you can configure that yard management, and what will be the end-to-end business scenario, how you can run all the transaction in that.
Okay, okay. So in the any batch, if less than okay, how many? Maybe 8 to 10, or maybe it depends on the batch. So it will be like same like how the demo was done. So it will be same like a number of guys will be joined, and so the you will teach on one time, right? If I'm not
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks for your demo.
Yeah. Uh, okay, no problem. So what we'll do, if you have any doubts on what are the timings of the class or what is the fee structure of the session, you can just connect with Naveen. He will guide you on that area, and I hope that you guys will enroll into this course, and we'll meet you again in next session. Okay.
Ashish, last question.
Yeah.
Are you doing, are you giving any other, I mean, other modules also giving training, only EWM only?
So right now I'm taking EWM batches because I'm getting more requirement on EWM. But yeah, I'm also teaching MM. But yeah, you need to connect with Naveen on that. Okay,
Okay,
because
okay,
Naveen would be the appropriate person. Like you can just give him the module, and
okay,
like if I'm available, I can take those sessions for other modules as well. But if I'm not available, I'm because there are already two batches are running, so I don't have that bandwidth. But if some another good trainer is there, he can also refer you on that batch.
sure, sure. Are you giving ABAP also? I'm just asking.
No, I'm not a ABAP consultant, okay, because I know ABAP, but I'm not saying that I'm techno functional. Okay, I can debug this thing, but if you ask me to write the code, I cannot write the code. So yeah, but yeah,
It's okay,
I
it's okay.
can
I'm
I
just asking.
yeah, so I can do the debugging and all those things. Whatever the things are required to run EWM, I know those things. So but I'm not a ABAP consultant. But yeah, I know a lot of things about ABAP because EWM is has a different ABAP. It is working on class and oops and everything, so it is bit different than your regular ABAP. Okay,
Okay,
so to debug that also, like, you need to know some other stuff. So I know those stuffs, but I'm not good at ABAPs, to be very honest.
okay. So in this EWM also we have like functional, and we will have a techno functional, right? The back end like coding and programming like this also will
Yes,
be
because
available,
see,
right?
yeah, it is using, I guess, the oops concept will be like extensively used. So you have class, and all your methods will be stored under class and all those things. So yes, for a technical side, I will not say techno functional, but from if you want to learn EWM technical, there are separate classes are going on. Naveen has a good trainer on that as well, so he runs that sessions as well. So if you want to enroll to that course, yeah, definitely you can join that. But for this particular course, I am purely talking about functional aspects of that.
Sure, sure. Okay. So what will be the job roles like functional consultant, and what is the like basic static position? What is the job title will be for this
Okay,
EW?
so if you are a fresher, if you do not have any experience, you will be treated as a fresher. But if you have some experience in MM, SD, or PP, QM module, because all of them are integrated, right? So you can say that, okay, I have worked on like 7 to 8 years of experience in other module, and I know this EWM. I have also done certification. So based on that, you can ask from in your existing company, or from the, like, you can go to the market and say that, because as there is a high demand, people are hiring like for those areas consultants as well. Okay, so today's is class number uh, ideally it is a class number 2, because in our demo session we discussed few of the important concept of what is warehouse management, what are the SAP's warehouse management solutions are. We have also seen what is the difference between embedded EWM and SCM EWM. So from that you will get an idea that, okay, what is the difference between the different versions of EWM. And SAP is keep evolving on EWM. So every year you will find a new S4 HANA version, and there will be a lot of new functionalities on EWM, but basic features and basic functionalities will remain the same. Okay, there will be some advanced features and new features will be add on, or some glitches or some patches will get updated, but basic business point of view, from the functional point of view, it will be going to remain as the same. Okay, so in today's class, we'll go and further. So I'll just update the Excel sheet. So how we'll do that? I will every class I will update this Excel sheet. End of this class, this Excel sheet will be handed over to you for practice purpose. I will also update few of the things as we go and explain it. In addition to this, I hope everybody has the SharePoint access. They have already shared you the notes. Again, I'm going to present those notes while the session is going on. So you can refer this Excel sheet, you can refer those notes, and you can also watch those recordings which they will provide you after each session. So I would suggest that you go through that recording first, make your own notes while you are watching that recording, and afterwards you try to sit and do the practice on this practice system by keeping your notes on and my notes and Excel sheet which I'm preparing. So you'll get a better understanding and you will face lesser issues as compared if you are doing it blindly. Okay, okay. Before I start, any question, any doubt from the previous session, or we all are on the same page on from the previous class or the demo session?
No, nothing. It's okay. It's okay for me.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so today officially this is the class number 2. We are going to discuss about S4 HANA and EWM organizational structure. In addition to this, we are also going to
Excuse me.
discuss.
Sorry to interrupt,
Yeah,
Ashish, but this is the first class for me. Like after the demo, this is the first class for me.
yeah. So demo
If I'm
session
not
is your
okay.
first class and this is your second class. Okay, because in
Okay.
demo session I
Okay.
have
Fine.
already discussed few of the things, right? So I'm not going to repeat the same. So if somebody has
Oh,
missed out that demo session, just go to that recording. If you have any doubt, just come to me. I'll explain it in detail. Okay. Okay, excellent. Okay, so in today's class, our major objective is to check the organizational structure. We will create that organizational structure in S4 HANA. We'll create a organizational structure in EWM in our training system, and we will also see some of the like we will not see end-to-end EWM org structure because that will be like I need like 2-3 classes to end to end build up that organizational structure, but overview where we are going to discuss. In addition to this, we'll also see certain integrational configuration, how you can integrate your or activate your EWM warehouse in your embedded EWM S4 HANA system. Okay, so because S4 in S4 you have two option. If you want to use a warehouse, still you can go with your warehouse management solution, that is SAP WM. We discussed in our last session what is SAP WM and what is EWM. And in S4 HANA you have both the options. Okay, so if you want that you wanted to go for SAP WM, yes, you can use it. If you want to use EWM, then yes, you can do it. You can use that embedded version, but you need to activate that. Okay, now if your customer or client is going for S4 HANA and if they ask you what should we do, should we go for SAP WM or we should go with SAP EWM? So always suggest for EWM because by 2025 SAP is planning to remove or stop the functionalities or keep supporting this SAP WM. So that's why everybody is moving to EWM and there is a sudden demand in EWM. Okay, so to activate, we'll also see how you can activate those thing or how to activate your SAP WM warehouse. Okay, now first of all, let me give you some graphical overview so that you can understand what is going on with this. Okay, Now, let's say, as we discussed in your SAP S4HANA, it is a embedded EWM. Okay, and in our last class we have discussed that both S4HANA and EWM are in the same box or in the same server. So there is a logical system for your S4HANA, and there is another logical system for your EWM. So there are two systems, separate system, and you need to integrate both the system with each other if you want to use EWM functionality. Now, both of them has their own organizational structure. As you know, in MM, if you have worked in MM, you know what is the organizational structure. You have company code, you have plant, then you have storage location. Okay, storage location. You have certain other things, like based on your department, whether you are going for purchasing, your purchase or sales, or that those things are already there in S4 HANA as well. But our main focus is on this area. Okay, so you have these organizational structures in your S4 HANA. Okay, so that we are going to create in our training system as well. We'll create not from company code, will start will because company code will again fall under your FI part. So we'll go with plant, we'll create a plant, and we will copy the plant. Okay, we'll not going to create with scratch, because there will be a lot of issues if you do it. You will face a lot of FI errors, because for other plant or company code you have not maintained accounting entry, posting period errors will come. So it is better we use uh, a plant which I give you as a reference. So I'll give you a reference plant, you can take that plant for your copying from your data. Okay, then we'll create a storage location, and whenever you are activating warehouse management, it will always come under storage location. Okay, so let me also pull that slide which we were discussing in our last session. So see, this is the slide which I was discussing. So you have plant, storage location, and your warehouse management will always under your storage location. So to create your warehouse, you need the above structure. You need one plant, or you need a plant, you need a storage location, and under storage location will create a warehouse. Now, if you are going for EWM warehouse, you will definitely going to create a EWM warehouse, but to activate that EWM warehouse or to link that EWM warehouse with your storage location and plant, you need a SAP WM warehouse number. Okay, now what is the difference between these two? This is a 3-digit alphanumeric key, and this is a 4-digit alphanumeric key. Okay, and to activate your EWM warehouse, you need to create this. For this SAP WM warehouse, we are not going to create any further entities like storage section, storage type. Those things we are not going to create it at SAP WM level, but we are going to create it as a EWM level. Okay, so my first objective is to configure this, and then we'll gradually show you other organizational structure. So far, any doubt, any confusion what we are going to do in today's session? Okay, I will take it as no. Okay, so here we are going to create SAP WM warehouse, and here we are going to create EWM warehouse. Okay, so these are the actions which we are going to perform in today. Okay, so okay, so I am in a training system now. So to create your organizational structure, you need to go to SPRO, because in last session we have discussed we have 3 type of data: transactional data, master data, and configurational data. Okay, to run your master data and transactional data, you need a configurational data. Okay, you need plant, storage location, and all those things you are going to create it in SPRO. So once you go to SPRO, you need to go to IMG, and here you have enterprise structure, and here you will go to define, and I will just check what warehouse, because this system is new, and because for last batch we were using some another system, like it was 2021. So for this batch we are going to use a new system, S4HANA 2022. So yes, we can take that. Okay, so I will go to enterprise structure, go to define. Under define we'll go to logistics general. We are not going to create company code, we'll directly create a plant. And I will not define the plant, I wanted to copy the plant. So I'll go to this option that called copy, delete, and check plant. And here you have this option of copy the org object. Here I'll give the reference plant, and I will give my new plant which I wanted to create, and I will copy everything. If ask me for the number range, I'll say yes. Give everything as yes, so everything will be get copied from the reference plant. Okay, so it says that your plant got copied. So I'll go back and go to define plants, and okay, so my plant got copied. I don't want this description, so I will change the description by editing this. Okay, and I will save this. Okay, so for you guys, the reference plant would be Z003. So whenever you try to copy or try to create your organizational structure, because after this you need to create your structure as well, right? So in that case, you are going to copy from Z003. You are not going to create it randomly. Okay, just copy this plant and create it. Otherwise, you will face a lot of FI errors and you need to Google it. And our basic objective here is to learn EWM, not some FI or CO related errors. So it is better that you copy from this plant. Okay, now as per the organizational structure, we need a two storage location, because we are going to see a scenario where we have two storage location in the picture. In upcoming classes, I will tell you why we have selected this scenario, because this scenario is covering all the aspect, and you can understand the availability group better. That concept you can understand it better. So we'll create two storage location under this plant. Okay, so I will again go back, and I will go to transaction OX09. So I will, so as I copied from the reference plant, already there are two storage location created. I will delete all other storage location because those are not required. So for my plant, as I have copied from the reference plant, so both the storage locations are already created. But if it is not created in your training system, as you are going to copy it from my plant, then you will get it. But if you want to create, you can just simply create a new entry and you will be able to create new storage location. So create two storage location, receive on dock, and another one is available for sales. As I told you, I'll tell you why we are creating this. Just keep patience for 2-3 classes, and then you will get to know why we are doing this. Okay, so I will give this to storage location.
Ashish,
Yes.
I'm sorry, my name is Gopi.
Yes.
I just joined the session. Sorry for my delayed joining.
Yeah, no
Could you
problem.
please recap what we are discussing at what we have discussed?
Okay, so I'll just brief you. You will get a recording. You can again watch this recording, but I'll just give you a brief what we have discussed. So in our last session, we discussed in our demo session, we have discussed about what is warehouse management, what SAP has to offer in this area, and we have also seen what is the difference between SAP WM, SAP EWM, and SAP EWM embedded version on S4HANA. So we have now a fair bit of idea that in SAP EWM S4HANA embedded version, you have one client, and in one client you have two systems, two logical systems rather than saying to the system. In one client or in one server or in one box, you have two systems, logical system. One is S4HANA and one is EWM. If you want to use EWM, you need to activate your EWM warehouse. Okay, so in today's session we are going to see that how you are going to activate your EWM warehouse for your client or for your system. And to create your warehouse, you need a organizational structure. Okay, so right now we are creating a organizational structure in S4 HANA, and then gradually we'll create a organizational structure in EWM. Now creating an organizational structure in EWM will take 2-3 classes. So today we will just create a warehouse and we'll see how we are going to activate that warehouse. Okay, Gopi, is it okay? Gopi, are you there? Okay. So far we have created plant. So whenever you create, just create with this reference plant, and we have created the location. Okay. So
So,
now I will go
one
ahead and
one more
create.
question is,
Mhm.
yeah, Tom here. So, what was the T code for that storage location?
T code is OX09. You can also create your storage location from SPRO path as well. Okay, so I'll just mention that T code here. So you'll get this Excel, so you do not have to write down anything right now. So here it is. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll create our SAP WM warehouse. Okay, why we are creating SAP WM warehouse? Because to activate our EWM warehouse, we need a SAP WM warehouse, and we'll create this SAP WM warehouse and then we'll assign to our plant and storage location combination. So here what we are doing, we'll create one SAP WM warehouse, we'll assign to plant and storage location, and afterwards we'll assign this warehouse to our EWM warehouse number. Okay, so that's how we are linking our EWM warehouse with plant and storage location. To create SAP WM warehouse, again you will go to define and enterprise structure in define. Here you have uh, logistic execution. Under logistic execution, you have this define warehouse number, and okay, you do not have any entry, so I'll create an entry Z03, and I will say that EWM. Okay, and I'll save this. Okay, so here no point to copy this warehouse. You can just simply go to create new entry and create it, because they're not going to use any of the organizational structure in SAP WM. Our interest is to create in EWM. So you can just simply, if you want to copy, you can copy, description and everything will get copied, but go with new entry and create a 3-digit alphanumeric number. So in our case, we have created Z03 warehouse number, SAP WM warehouse number. And now our next step, we need to assign this SAP WM warehouse to your plant and storage location combination. Okay, so we have two storage location. So we'll assign this SAP WM warehouse to two combination. Okay, one with plant and storage location ROD, and another one is available for sales. Okay, so where you can assign this. So right now we are in enterprise structure define configuration node. I will close this define and go to assign mode or assign configuration node. And here again, I will go to logistic execution and define warehouse number for plant storage location. Here I will create new entry. My plant is 003. My first storage location is ROD1, and to this I will assign my EWM warehouse number, which is 3-digit alphanumeric number Z03. Same step I will replicate for Z003 and available for sales, and assign your warehouse number. Okay, so this assignment is done. Now if I go back to the slide, so we created plant, we created storage location, we created SAP WM number, and we assigned our SAP WM warehouse number to plant and storage location combination. Okay, so this part is done so far. The boxes which are in blue. Now what we'll do, we'll create a SAP EWM warehouse number, and we are going to assign with your SAP WM number. Okay, so how you can create this? Now all your organizational structure for your S4HANA, you have this configuration node called enterprise structure. But as EWM is not meant for S4HANA or for ECC 6.0 because it was in SCM system. Okay, so that's why there is a separate configuration node. And if you see the description, it is still using SCM EWM. So still it is not just a EWM or any other module, just like MM, SD, PP, QM. It is SCM EWM. Why? Because it is an embedded one, because this is not meant for S4 HANA. It was for SCM. And that's why you are not going to create your organizational structure or warehouse in the enterprise structure. You have this SCM EWM. You will go to this node. You will go to extended warehouse management, and here you will click on master data, and here you have this define warehouse number. So here again I will create a new entry. I'm not going to copy this because there is no point to copy, because we need to create everything. So I'll just create I'll just keep the same name so that I can understand what is a plant warehouse, but in your customer location might be different. Okay, I'll just give description EWM, and I will save this. Okay, so let's do the repetition. So far what we did, we'll just I will just copy the steps so that you can understand so far what we did. Okay, let me put it here. Oh, okay. Let me expand this. Okay, so far what we did, we created plant. So whenever you create plant, make sure that you are copying it from the reference warehouse, reference plant Z003. Please make sure that you copied it from this plant, otherwise it would be very difficult to fix those FI and other errors. I have to spend a lot of time to do that, so we'll not go with any other issues from FI. Okay, then after that we created two storage location. One is available for sales and receive on dock. If you copy from the reference plant, that will automatically come. Then we created a SAP WM warehouse number, which is 3-digit alphanumeric number. Then we assign our SAP WM warehouse number to plant and storage location combination. Then we created SAP EWM warehouse number. Okay, so far we did this much. Now, there are certain steps which you are going to use to integrate or activate your EWM. Let me put it in different color. So these are the step to activate EWM warehouse. Okay. I will save this desktop batch 7. Okay. Now, first of all, first step is to assign your SAP WM warehouse number to your EWM warehouse number. So where we can do that? So again, I will go to SPRO, SPRO, IMG. Under this, I will again go to SCM EWM, Extended Warehouse Management, and under Interfaces, under ERP Integration. Under ERP Integration, you have this general setting. And under general setting, here you have this assign warehouse number to your LE warehouse. Okay, so here I will copy this and I will make a new entry here. So what is my SAP WM warehouse number, which is 3-digit alphanumeric number? So it is Z03 is my warehouse number. So I'll put it here. And what is my EWM warehouse number, which is Z003, which is 4-digit alphanumeric number. I will press enter and save this. Okay, so basically we completed this slide. Okay, so we created plant, storage location, warehouse, assignment is done. We created EWM warehouse number and assignment is done. Okay, so those steps are done. So I'll just mention that step here. So step number 6. Sorry, assign SAP WM warehouse to EWM. Okay, so far any questions?
No, Ashish, from
Fine,
my end.
Ashish.
Okay, excellent. So see, this is a first class, so I'm going very slow. So some of you who has worked on WM or EWM, they will feel that, okay, I'm going very slow because I'm intentionally going slow. Okay, gradually once we complete certain 2-3 classes, then I'll pick up the speed. But so far as this is a sometimes like few people are very new to do the EWM concept, so I'm going very slow. So bear with me if you feel that I'm going very slow. Okay. Okay. Now the next step is you need to again do certain more step to integrate your EWM system. Okay. So in our session we discussed that we need to create. Okay, let me put that slide first. So if you remember the slide, so anybody can help me or just give the overview what is QRFC or how the data is transferred. We discussed this, right? Anybody want to try what this slide is?
So, can you hear me, Ashish?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, I mean, like you mentioned in the previous class, so basically CIF we are used to transfer the data, I mean, between the SAP side to the EWM side. Basically, to transfer the master data, we use the CIF,
Right,
right?
right.
And
And for
QRFC
transactional
basically
data, yes, go ahead.
transaction data, yes. And for the transaction data, we use the QRFC. But like I mean, now we are using the embedded the EWM. So that is why now we are not using CIF anymore now.
Yes. So we need to just maintain the QRFC. You are right. So I'll just repeat it once again. You are absolutely right. You have covered all the points which are there in this slide. So basically, this slide is representing your transfer data transfer methods. Okay, how you are going to transfer your data from your S4HANA or from ERP to EWM system. So if you are using the previous versions where you have EWM in SCM product or you have decentralized warehouse, so in that case your master data will transfer via SIF technology or APO core interface. In that your master data will transfer from your ERP to EWM. So this is a one-way movement. So you will create all your master data in your ERP system, and your transactional data will transfer via QRFC, and it will be a two-way update. Now in S4HANA, we are not going to sift anything because
Ashish,
both the system ER, yes,
I'm sorry to disturb you, but
yeah,
this question was actually should be asked in the last session only, but unfortunately my mic is not working, so I'll post it
no,
now.
yeah, no
QRFC
problem. Go ahead.
is a kind of IDOCs or you know.
QRFC is a separate technologies. Like they are the standard BAPIs. Okay, they are. I'll discuss that. If you can just hold your question, I'll show you that what's QRFC or what is in background. What is the background of QRFC? Okay, just
Okay,
hold your thought question. I'll come back to you. Okay.
thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so as I was saying that in S4 HANA embedded EWM, you are not going to sift anything because both the systems are in the same server in the same box. So for master data, both S4 HANA and EWM are going to use the same set of tables. Okay, so I was referring to this slide. Okay, so there is no core interface because both of them are going to use the same set of tables. But you need to establish your QRFC connection. Okay, now QRFC connection, to establish a QRFC connection, you need to set up a distribution model. Okay, what is this distribution model? Basically, QRFC is nothing but a standard BAPI connectors which will communicate or generate those queues. So they will convert this transactional data into the queues, and those queue containers will contain those data or information and which will be passed on to the other system. Okay, so what I will do, I'll quickly show you the distribution model, how you can do that. But before that, uh, there are few other settings which you need to do. So I will again go to SPRO. IMG, under IMG now we'll go to logistics execution. Okay, now so far whatever we did it in SCM EWM and enterprise structure configuration node. Now we'll see the logistic execution. Under logistic execution, you will select EWM. Okay, EWM warehouse integration management. So I'll go here and click on basic setup connectivity. Now we are doing a connectivity, okay, because we need to transfer something from S4 HANA. So we need to have this connection. So to set up a connection, first of all, you need to configure your SAP EWM specific parameters. So I will click here and I will enter my SAP WM warehouse number. Okay, so as soon as I create my SAP WM warehouse number in enterprise structure, there will be automatically there will be one entry will be posted here in background. Okay, but this warehouse which I have created is not meant for SAP WM, it is for EWM. So that you need to convey to the system that the warehouse which I have created, which is 3-digit alphanumeric number, SAP WM warehouse, is not a SAP WM warehouse. It is created because I wanted to activate EWM warehouse. So here in this drop down I will select extended warehouse management, and once I press enter, see this communication is giving you QRC asynchronous RFC. Okay, so that is right. I will save this. So this is the first thing which you need to do. The second thing which you need to do is define the QRFC for your receiver system. Okay, as I told you, both are the logical system. So this settings is basically your basis team will give you the receiver system and all those things will be created. But if you are aware, then you can just go here and create for this system. This is a one-time activity, so don't touch this configuration. Just keep this tab and go to generate distribution model for your warehouse. Okay, now see here you need to create a distribution model from your S4HANA to your targeted logical system. Okay, so first of all, I will give my S4HANA or SAP WM warehouse number. So it is Z03. Then I have to provide a logical system for my EWM. So this logical system will be provided by Basis. They will give you the system. If you don't know, you can ask your Basis consultant to provide you. If it's very easy to identify that. So the namings will be given properly. So I can show you for this training system. It is S4 EWM 100. Okay, so this is my target logical system. I will update that Excel sheet so you can understand. So this is my logical system for my EWM. Okay, so I'll give that here logical system and I will create a distribution model EWM. Okay, I will select this all entries because you need to distribute. So if you see the slides again, so basically in transaction data you are dealing with your deliveries, right? So you'll create a inbound delivery, outbound delivery, or PMR. These are the three documents which you are going to distribute to EWM system. So I'm selecting all entries, and as I'm creating for first time for my warehouse, I've selected create entries and I will execute. So see here, so these are the standard methods, SAP methods, which will be used to transfer your data from your S4HANA or ERP to EWM system. So the question which you have asked, what is QRFC? QRFC is a technology which will be used to transfer the data between two SAP system. Okay, and in background you need some method or standard connectors for that. So if you are using QRFC, there will be some background program. Basically, this is nothing but a method or program which SAP has developed, standard SAP program. Whenever you create your deliveries, it will get distributed to your EWM system via queues. Okay, I'm not sure who has asked me the question, but is your question has been answered? Okay. Okay, anyways, so see here, I will select OK. Once I press OK, I'm not sure whether distribution model has been generated for my warehouse or not. So how I can check whether distribution model got created or not? So for that, you can go to /n BD64 is the transaction code. And here you have not this one, EWM as a distribution model. And you can see who is the sender system. So this is the logical system for your S4HANA. This is your target system for your EWM logical system. And under this, these are the standard bar connectors to distribute your deliveries. And here you can see, if you go to the drop down, you can see your warehouse number here. Okay, so for all your connectors for inbound delivery, you have separate uh, methods. For outbound delivery, production integration, inbound delivery change, inbound delivery creation, then you have a posting change or service application. So for all the transactional data, you have this methods, and under that, as we generated a distribution model, our warehouse has been added into this distribution model. Okay, so far any question on this creating a distribution model?
No, it's
Not
clear for
much
me.
from my end.
Okay. So let me just update that Excel sheet. I will quickly update that Excel sheet because it's important. I know initially you need this kind of spoon feeding, but after that you will be able to cope up. But so until and unless I'll update this Excel sheet. Okay. So generate distribution model, and you can go here Z03. Okay, it has been maintained, and copy parameters and configure your parameters for SAP EWM warehouse. Okay, so this is done. Copy, paste. Okay, now the two things which you need to understand: don't touch this define queue for EWM1. Okay, don't touch this one because this is your target system. If you modify something here, your queues will not get generated. So basically you are defining, or you are saying to the system that, okay, create those queues. The queue type will be your inbound queue type. So based on this, it will generate the queues. And don't change anything in BD64. BD64 is just for the display. I'll also write that BD64 just for display, and I'll write that do not change. Do not change. Okay. So whenever I write do not change, please don't change it because other students will face the issue if you do some changes over there. Okay. But for like learning or practicing purpose, obviously you need to open that configuration node. Otherwise, you will be not able to see. Okay. So this is okay. Now, what is okay? Now I will park this for today. We'll continue tomorrow. So far we did this step. I will keep updating this step, and after every class you will get this Excel sheet. As I told you, don't directly go with this Excel sheet. First of all, watch that recording of the class. If you feel that I'm going very slow, just increase the speed and take your notes. Once you complete your notes, then take this as a help. Okay, and create your organizational structure. So by next week, before next week, before Monday, you should be able to create your plant, storage location, warehouse, EWM warehouse, and complete this activation step. If you feel anywhere that you are not able to do it, or like you are facing any issues, just send me a WhatsApp message, or just send the details to the team that I'm facing this issue. Please make sure to take a screenshot of error and let me know. If I'm free, I'll respond. Otherwise, we'll take it in a doubt clearing session of every session. Okay. Okay. So far, any questions, any doubt, guys, or we are good?
So far, so good, Ashish.
Okay. Okay.
So
Then,
I
Ashish,
have a question,
uh,
Ashish. Actually,
yeah, please
what is
go
this
ahead.
FI errors?
FIRS is basically you have different modules. Okay. And whatever you are posting in S4HANA, basically, see, this is a business, right? So if you are doing a good receipt or good issue, there will be a accounting entry, right? Because if you are receiving something, you have to pay something to your supplier. If you are
Correct.
issuing to your customer, then you will receive it. So you are taking some different plant or different company code and then doing it by yourself. So because you are not a FI expert, right? So you might have maintained account, GL account. You will get a GL account error or posting period error. I don't want you to learn FI right now. Our main focus is on EWM. whatever error in EWM is in EWM system is coming, we are happy to take, but we will not spend much time on FI related issues. Okay, that will go to the GL account, and for that I want you to go to Google it out the FI error. I will don't want that. Okay, so take a reference plant and copy from that reference plan, create your new plan. Make
Okay,
sense?
okay. Okay, thank you. And one more question. Actually, this one you said that we are using 2022 S4 HANA. So this is the version or of the S4 HANA 2022. Just to click, can you
Yeah.
clear for me?
So yeah. So if you have observed, uh, when uh, okay, so SAP S4 HANA was introduced in 2015. Okay, in initial version of 2015, EWM was there. Okay, they have introduced EWM in the next version in 2016. That's why it is 1610. Okay, so every year SAP is releasing new versions of S4 HANA. Okay, in every release, it is updating something. So right now, the current version is S4 HANA 2022. Okay, so Naveen
Okay,
and
okay.
team is
Clear.
providing you the latest version of S4 HANA so that you will get all the features, you will able to learn the latest version. But if you have worked on S4 HANA 2022, that means that you can also work on the previous version of S4 HANA.
No, I'm new actually to SAP. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
no problem. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like we have all have started somewhere, right? So it's a good thing
Yes.
that you have asked. Don't worry. Ask your questions. Whatever questions you have related to EWM, I'm very happy to answer those. Okay,
Sure.
not an issue.
Thanks. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Um,
Ashish, I have
so
question. Hello, can you hear me?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Go ahead.
my question is not specific to the EWM. So I wanted to ask you about the timing of the timing would be like tomorrow is weekend, right? So do we have class tomorrow or day after tomorrow? Like it's a
So
weekdays batch.
Naveen told me to take a weekday batch. So it will be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. 4 days, 1 hour
Monday,
per day.
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, not on the Wednesday,
So
right?
yeah, not on the Wednesday because Wednesday I'm busy. So every Wednesday I'm busy. So I will be not able to take it. But on these 4 days, I will take 1 hour session. So initially my
Mm-hmm.
speed will be very slow. I'm going very slow. I'm repeating like 2-3 times one topic. I will repeat 2-3 times. I will update the Excel sheet. I will do the spoon feeding. But once I feel that okay, everybody is comfortable, everybody is able to cope up, then I will increase my speed and then we'll come to the point that we are utilizing the whole 1 hour session. Okay.
And
So
like you mentioned, if you have any issue, then we can reach out to you too on WhatsApp. Like if I'm not wrong, right?
yeah, so
Or how
just
can we reach
yeah,
out to
just
you?
update. So they will create a group for you, and team will
Okay.
forward me the message. And I'll if I'm free,
Okay.
I'm not committing anything. If I'm a free at that time, so I'll respond it. If I'm not free, then I will take it in the session. Okay, doubt
Okay.
clearing session.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you, Shish.
okay, no problem. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll park it today, and we'll wrap up the session. We'll continue next week, Monday at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ashish.
Thank you guys.
Okay.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much. Thank you for joining the session. Thank you. Bye bye.
This conference will now be recorded.
So far, what we have seen in our last class. Okay, yes. So far we have seen the organizational structure from your S4 HANA side, and we created our warehouse, EWM warehouse, and we did some integration steps. So far, any questions from the steps which we have did it from the last class?
No,
Guys,
Ashish,
any
not from my
questions?
end. No,
Okay,
Ashish, not from
so
my end.
oh, excellent. So everybody has created their warehouses and were able to perform all the steps.
Actually, no. We got the server access today afternoon like that, but
Okay,
we couldn't able to do. But we'll plan it tomorrow to do this.
okay, okay, no problem. So we'll continue then. Just practice it. If you need any help, just let me know. We'll take one doubt clearing session. Okay, permanent. Now we will today we'll see a new topic. Um, master data. What is master data? Master data. Okay. So now in EWM, there is a concept called a supply chain unit. Okay, now again, like this concept is not from your S4HANA. So this is from your SCM. So in SCM, you do not have terminology called plant, vendor, customer, distribution center, warehouse. Those things are not there. So you have this term called supply chain unit. So whatever entity you are creating as a warehouse has to be created as a supply chain unit, and you should assign your supply chain unit to your warehouse. Now you will ask me that why we are doing this. We are doing this because we want to define certain attributes to our warehouse. When I say attributes, it's a very simple term. If I say that what are the attributes of a human being, so there will be two hand, two eyes, one nose, right? So similarly, what are the attributes of your warehouse? Physical attributes. So your warehouse will have your door, your GR office, your sales office, those gate. Those are the attributes of your warehouse, right? So the reason behind creating supply chain unit is to create those attributes, and you can also assign the address, time zone, region, and other things. Okay, and once you define those to your supply chain unit, after that we'll assign that supply chain unit to our warehouse. Okay, so we'll see that. First of all, we'll create a supply chain unit. To create a supply chain unit, you need to go to SAP Easy Access tree, go to logistics, under SCM EWM, and under master data. Now this supply chain unit is your master data. Okay, I'll go here.
Ashish, sorry to disturb, but this you are telling this is in the SCM, right? This supply chain unit, but it's not in the S4 HANA EWM. Just
No, it is there. Once your EWM embedded version has been added, so this supply chain unit is coming under this EWM part.
okay, but why we are doing from the SCM, not from S4 HANA?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Can you rephrase your question, please?
You said that we are doing this supply chain unit in SCM, right? Why we are not doing from S4
No,
HANA?
I didn't
Can you?
say that we are doing in SCM. I said this terminology is from your SCM product. Okay, so
Uh,
if you see your previous ECC version, you will not find this terminology called SCM, because it was not meant for that. As this is an embedded version, this terminology is introduced in your EWM segment, and that's why if you see here in this easy access tree, this SCM is coming under your EWM section.
okay,
Okay,
clear. Okay,
okay.
clear.
So here I'll just give a name that SCU underscore my warehouse number, because I wanted to identify, okay, this SCU is created for my warehouse. So that's why I have created or given the warehouse number at the end. And I need to select a type. Now see here, as we are creating our warehouse, for our warehouse, I'm selecting this 1008, and I will click on create. Now, if you see closely the document which I was sharing, you can define address, time zone, region, and attributes. Okay, so we will define all those things here. So see here you have this address tab, or I need to give some description. Then in address tab you can give the address to your address for your warehouse. Now see, this is the difference between EWM and SAP WM. In SAP WM you have no option to give address to your warehouse. Okay, you are creating or assigning your warehouse under your storage location. So whatever address you have in your storage location or plant, it has been like considered that okay, it is at the same address. But here you can change the address, or you can give the address for your warehouse facility. Okay, now I can okay, I have given the address. Anything else? English, that's fine. I will go to here, and here I can give those business attributes to my warehouse or to my supply chain unit. So see here, these are the attributes. So it has docking location, doors, gate.
So Ashish, one question. So I completely missed this supply chain unit concept.
Sorry, so you didn't understand the concept, or
Yeah, I didn't understand the concept really.
okay, sure. I'll explain you. Just a
Yeah.
moment. Okay, so far what is your understanding? So far, what you understood?
So it is like what I nothing much I understood, to be very frank.
Yeah, no
So
problem. Whatever you understood, because I wanted to know from where I can or what additional or supplements should I attach to, or should I explain to you. So that's why I'm asking you. What so far, whatever we discussed, what you understood, what is your concept so far on supply chain? What you understood so far?
uh, but nothing much actually. So that is the thing.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
supply chain unit is an object uh, which represent your warehouse. Okay. So why we are creating this, and once you create a supply chain unit, you will assign the supply chain unit to your EWM warehouse which we have created. So the next step is we are going to assign or make do this assignment in our SPRO. Okay, but why we are doing this, why we need a separate object uh, for our warehouse. Okay, so then why we are doing this, because here in this object we can give the address and attributes for our warehouse. Okay, are you getting my point, what I'm
Okay.
trying to say? So what it is
Yeah.
it is not ECC terminology. It was introduced in SCM, so that's why it is written as SCM term for your plant, vendor, customer, warehouse, distribution center. So that's why when I create this supply chain unit, you saw that I have given the type. Okay, so you have few types. So if you are creating
Yeah.
plant,
Warehouse you have
customer,
given.
vendor,
Yeah.
but those things are not required in S4 HANA, uh, because to be very honest, this all is required when you are using SCM. Okay, and for us we are only using EWM system. That's why I have just created for 1008 as a warehouse. Okay, so that I can assign this supply chain unit to my warehouse. Okay, and why I'm doing this, because I can assign those or create those attributes and assign this to my warehouse. So by assigning this supply chain unit to my warehouse, I'm saying that my warehouse has door, my warehouse has gate, it has docking location, it has good receipt office, it has sales shipping office, it has zone. Likewise, these are the different attributes to your warehouse, right? Are you getting now what I'm trying to
Yes.
say?
So you're basically I don't know, you're defining all the attributes required for your warehouse. That's what you're
Right,
doing, right?
right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see here, I have defined everything. I have saved this.
So
So
one dumb question would be, see, you have the warehouse number. Why can't we directly give it to the warehouse number? I mean, EWM
yes.
directly.
Why we can't do that? Because there could be a possibility that your warehouse is a okay. So for that, why we are not doing this? Because there are certain processes or like that's how they have built in. Like I
Okay,
don't
okay,
have
okay.
a specific answer to that, but yeah, that's how they kept it. Okay, I don't have any answer. So generally, we create a supply chain unit and we'll assign it to your warehouse.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so
Okay, no
much.
problem.
Ashish, I have one question. Maybe this is again the one dumb question, but point
No
is,
dumb
for
question. You can
example,
ask whatever you want to. Like
yeah,
from
okay,
EWM point of view, if
okay.
you ask any question, not an issue. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. So like you mentioned here the attribute, right? So basically in the supply chain unit, you are mentioning or giving the attribute to particular warehouse, right?
Hmm.
So it
Right.
can we say that so these all are the operation we are going to perform in that particular warehouse. For example, docking location, doors. So whatever the operation related to the door, so you have mentioned over there so that we can apply those operation in the warehouse.
Yes, yes. So we in future in our upcoming classes we'll see where we'll use the door assignment whenever we need a door assignment. At that time, you will assign your door to your supply chain unit rather than assigning it to directly to your warehouse. Okay, so those
Yes.
things will do it. Okay, so at
Okay.
that time those things will come. But yes, you are right.
Okay.
So that based on that certain operation can be performed at your supply chain unit.
Okay, so for example, we can say that I mean, if you would not have assigned door here in the supply chain unit, so like you mentioned, later we will assign the door assignment. So if we have not assigned here, so it means we cannot do any door assignment operation in that particular
Yes,
warehouse.
you will get an error message that supply
Okay.
chain unit is not assigned or it's not active, like those kind of error you will see. That's why I have assigned all the attributes to my supply chain unit. I have not like whatever options I have assigned all because I don't want any error at later point of time. Okay, so if you are not assigning your GR office, then at the time of good receipt you will face an error. If as we take one example for door, for yard management you need a gate. Likewise for different business scenario you need to assign a business attribute here. And once you assign a business attribute to your supply chain unit, this has to be assigned to your warehouse. So where when I like you can go to this configuration node, assign warehouse number, select here, give your warehouse number. If there is no entry, just create a new entry and see here for your warehouse you need to assign
SEO.
supply chain unit.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and I'm saving
Right.
this. Okay, now there is another concept called entitled party to dispose. Now what is this entitled party to dispose? This is the party or this is the business partner who has the ownership of the stock. Now what that means is, so why we are creating this warehouse? To manage the stock. For whom we are managing the stock? Okay, so if I go to the demo slide, just a moment, I will pull that demo slide for you, just a moment. Okay, again a very basic question, why we are using this EWM and why we are setting up warehouse? Because there is a company, there is a plant where you need to for those company and plant you need to store those product. Okay, this plant can be a manufacturing plant. Okay, and there is a manufacturing activity going on under this plant, and this plant needs a raw material or production line needs a raw material. To store the raw material you are creating this warehouse, right? So who is the owner of this warehouse, or who is the stock owner for this warehouse? So this plant as an entity is a ownership, having a ownership of this stock. Agree, guys?
Yeah, agree. The
Agree.
client will be the
Now I will,
owner.
right now I will give you another scenario where you are leasing your warehouse to some third party company. You are saying that, okay,
Okay.
I have the warehouse facility, I will give it on rent. Okay, so this plant having this warehouse, but the stock the warehouse is keeping is having some ownership of some different company. So this plant will be not the ownership, right? It will not contain that ownership, correct? So the third party company is having the ownership of that. So person or the entity which is having the ownership, or the business partner who is the having the ownership, will consider as a entitled party to dispose. Okay, now here in our case we have taken a very simple example where we have this manufacturing plant, and we are going to use this warehouse facilities to store the raw material or finished product or semi finished product for this plant. So that's why our entitled party to dispose will be this plant. That is in our case, which is Z003. Because if you see, remember, like in our last session we created plant Z003, right? So this is the plant which we need to give, but we cannot directly give this plant here because there is no such entity called as plant in EWM or in SCM. Okay, so there is no such master data as plant, or there is no configuration data as plant. So what you need to do is you need to create a business partner, because in S4 HANA you have this business partner. So you'll create a business partner and you will assign plant to that business partner. Okay, I'll show you what I'm trying to say. So I'll go to BP transaction and I will go to create. I will select grouping 002. I'll select this grouping and I will give the description as 003 central warehouse plant for my plant Z003, and I will give a short name Z003. I need to give the address, so I'll give the address. Let's say this plant is in USA. English.
Ashish, I have a question.
Yeah,
When you have created this CM Z003 as a supply chain unit, whatever the attributes you have there, you have taken from all like you have not selected, you have taken whatever the attributes is there. For
yes.
example, if we have another supply chain unit, let's say Z001, so for that also there will be already existed attributes will be there, or we have to create, or in other supply chain unit we should create that one, or it will be like existed, or how it is in the practical scenario.
Why you will create two supply chain unit?
No, instead of Z003, if it is a Z001, so there will be like available, like we will create also a supply chain unit like another also, like we will follow from starting to ending, like in a real term, in real scenario, practical. Did you get it what I'm asking?
Sorry, I didn't get your question. Sorry for that. Uh,
Actually,
so you,
here we have a CU supply unit Z003, right? So, in case
okay, okay,
normal,
understood. See, when I was creating supply chain unit, I can give any name. Okay, so if I go here, okay, let me go to logistics, EWM. Under EWM you have this master data. I got your question, what you are trying to say. Okay, just a moment, I'll explain you. See here, I have given this, I have typed this name. Okay, I can type anything. I can type Ashish or something. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. But there is a naming method or naming conventional to your organization, right? So that by seeing that particular object, it is very easy to identify what that object is and what that object for, right? So if I just simply give Ashish or some any other XYZ name, then it doesn't make any sense, right? But if I say that, okay, it is SCU, that is the supply chain unit, and what that supply chain unit is for, that is for my central warehouse Z003. Okay, but you can give any other name. Okay, and when you create any supply chain unit, you need to assign that supply chain unit value to your warehouse after creating all those attributes.
So we
Have
will
I answered
create
your
the
question?
attributes. So we will create the attributes whenever we will create the supply chain unit.
Yes. So whenever you create a supply chain unit, at that time you need to create all your attributes. And once you assign your supply chain unit to your warehouse, you should not change your supply chain unit again back to some new supply chain unit.
Get it. Clear.
Okay, so this is a
Thanks.
one-time activity, or this is an implementation kind of activity which you will do it for once.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Initial time we will do so, and we will not disturb that
Yeah.
one again.
Yeah, now if I change it, system will allow me to change, but it will give me a warning message, because there will be again like you are
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
you,
yeah,
you have
agree,
already
agree.
assigned, right? And if you have
Yeah.
some stock in your warehouse, then again there will be some discrepancy, so it will
Correct.
give you a warning message.
Clear. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm creating a business partner. I have selected this availability group and I have created business partner general. I will save this. Now, my basic motto for this business partner is that I'm creating for my plant. So I'll again go to edit mode and select FLV1, vendor master, and here in this vendor general data tab, I will use that. Oh, sorry, 131, and here you have this plant value. So basically the business partner which you are creating, you are assigning your plant. So basically this business partner is nothing but your plant. Okay, so I'll give my plant number and save this. Okay, now my business partner is created. Now I will take this business partner and assign it to my warehouse as a default entitled party to dispose. Okay, now
So that 131 number, it's automatically created, or
yeah, that is your number range, from your number range. So the grouping we have selected 002, right? So that grouping has this number range, and from that number range, this number is coming.
okay.
Okay. So this is done, and I'll save this. Okay. Now I will update the Excel sheet so that you guys can understand the things. Okay. Let me put class 3
So that
and
131 is a like the who is renting that plant. That's the
so yeah, in
entitled
our
guy, right?
scenario, we are not taking that scenario. We are taking as a manufacturing plant, and for that
Okay.
manufacturing plant, you have one central warehouse.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and for
So
this
that's
plant,
the
I have
owner of
created
the
one
plant.
business partner.
131 is the
Yes,
owner
yes,
of the plant.
yes. Owner of the warehouse, yeah, or owner of
Yeah.
the stock of the warehouse. Okay.
Sure.
So
Okay. Clear.
basically, if you see the name entitled party to dispose, so he has all the rights to dispose this material or issue the material within your
Sh-
warehouse. Okay.
Okay.
Now where it is 10, so I'll keep the same sequencing. So the sequence 10, you will create supply chain unit. You can refer my notes. Okay, in my notes I have given all the transactions and everything. Okay, and you can watch my recording as well, so you will get to know that what exactly I did. So you will get a detailed idea. This is just to give you an idea that what are the sequential step you need to perform. Okay, then you need to assign supply chain unit to your EWM warehouse. Then we created BP for your plant, and we have assigned BP to your EWM warehouse as uh, default default entitled party to dispose. Okay. Okay. Now, any question on this before I move ahead to the next step?
Uh,
No, no.
Yeah, I have one question, but
Yeah, please go
so
ahead.
it's a lengthy question, okay? So,
Hmm.
so see, I don't know the hierarchy. What I understood, like there is a company code, and a company code can have multiple plans, right? And
Yes.
each plan, so each plan will be always have one warehouse number, or it can have multiple warehouses. So what?
Yes. So
One,
there are different scenarios in this. So you maybe you have one central warehouse where that central warehouse is shared facility between two plants. Okay, so you have one company code. Under one company code you have two plants. Okay, plant A and plant B, and both plant are sharing the same central warehouse facility for their keeping that stock. There is a physical or logical boundary in your warehouse to bifurcate the plant, or there is nothing, there is no such boundary. Okay, so or there is a logical boundary, there is no physical boundary in that could be a possibility. So in those cases you will not assign your entitled party to dispose, because you are default. If you see the word, it is called as a default. So if I go to assign, it has been already logged. So see here, it is saying that default party to entitle. Okay, so it we are not defaulting any, because you have two plants sharing the same warehouse facility. But the case which I have taken has a single plant and single warehouse, so I have assigned the default party entitle to dispose.
okay.
Understood?
So if it's not a central warehouse, then definitely one plan will be having only one storage location. Okay.
So two storage location can be because we have created two storage
No, no,
location.
it's not storage location, warehouse number.
Yeah, warehouse. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So my question was, so multiple warehouse numbers. So the supply chain unit concept, right? So if there are multiple warehouses number, and for all those multiple warehouses, can I map only one single chain unit, supply chain unit?
Mm, you have multiple warehouse and you want to assign one supply chain unit to multiple warehouse. That's what you are saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give me a good example why you wanted to do this?
I don't know. I was just asking. See,
No.
I don't
See
know even if it's
how.
a valid question. Okay.
Okay, so how it happens to, because see, this supply chain unit you are creating for your warehouse. So if you go to I have not, to be very honest, I have not seen such example in any of the real time scenario. So why we are creating supply chain unit? Because you want to provide the attributes to your warehouse, right? So you wanted to keep it separate. So you have one warehouse, one supply chain unit, but even I have never thought of this question, why, if we can possible, I can check it into the system or training system, but like in real time scenario, I have not faced such issues. Okay, like I have not
Okay, no,
seen
no,
such
just
thing.
don't spend time. So my
Yeah.
question was, so I mean, my what I want to understand is like, what is the day-to-day activities of a functional guy in EWM? So people say about this rollout projects, right? It is like one plant is completely done, and they'll be just rolling out things into multiple plants and EWM sites, right? So I was
Yes.
just thinking
Yes.
if you can reuse something got created, like maybe XML supply chain unit,
No, no, no,
you
no.
can
Supply chain unit will be created separately for each warehouse
each.
in
Okay,
that
got it.
case. Okay. Now again, if you are going in a rollout project, you need to understand what is going on, or how the warehouse facility they have. That there are a lot of things you need to ask to your customer before implementing and before rolling out any warehouse. Okay, so the example which you have taken, like this is out of the topic, but as you discuss this, I can share some of my project work. So there is a structure. So there is one company code. This company code was having four plant A, plant B, plant C, and plant D. Okay, now this plant A and plant B, okay, I'll just modify it. Okay, so this plant A was in Pune, plant B was also in Pune, plant C is in Mumbai. Okay, plant D is in Hyderabad. Okay, understood the concept, like the
Yes.
geographically where all the plants are there. Okay, now this customer or this company was dealing with a distribution channel business. So what is distribution is they will just they will connect to the supplier, they will procure all the goods, they will store it in bulk, and they will sell the things in retailer. Okay, so you can see this in pharmaceutical industry. So what they will do, the distribution companies will procure everything directly from the manufacturer. They will store all the medicine or the medical instrument. They will keep those instrument in their warehouses or distribution channels or distribution centers, and they will send it to the retailers. Like they can directly send it to the hospitals, they can send it to the pharmacist and all those things. Okay, so this plant was dealing with the retailer. So what it was doing, it was sending this. So why they have kept two different plant entity in one company code at the same physical location? Because they sell to the retailer. Okay, and this was not sending it to retailer, they are sending it to bulk. Okay, so they both plant are procuring from the manufacturers, okay, in bulk. This plant is selling the goods to the retailer, and this plant is not selling it to retailer, they are sending it to bulk, maybe a hospital or some big retail pharmacist. They are sending it to those. Okay, so that was the basic model of this. And this is again, they are sending it to retailer, they are sending it to retailer. Okay, you understood the concept or what is going on?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now this both are having at the same location. Okay, and they both are using the same warehouse facility. This has its own warehouse facility, this has its own warehouse facility. Okay, so in this case what I have to do, I have to create a warehouse 100 or 1000, warehouse 2000, and warehouse 3000. Okay, so as this both plant are sharing the same warehouse facility and I have only one warehouse, so I have to just create one supply chain unit. Okay, let's say supply chain unit 1000, supply chain unit 2000, supply chain unit 3000. I hope everybody is following and we all are in the same page. Ask me any question in between if you have. Okay, and here I can put entitled party to dispose a business. I'll create a business partner for plant C. I can create a business partner for plant D, but I have to keep entitled party to dispose as blank here. Okay, because there are two plants, so I cannot set any default value here. Understood?
Yes.
Yep. So this is the one of the examples. So what we did, we first of all done the implementation for this particular plants or this area. Okay, then we went to Mumbai and we implemented this rollout, or we did the rollout for plant C. So in that case, we have not used a same supply chain unit. We need to use a different supply chain unit. Why? Because the warehouse itself is a different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then we have went to the next area, the Hyderabad, and we implemented it. Okay, the different one. So we need create a different one, right? So it depends upon how your organizational structure is, how everything is built up. you need to also ask the question that, okay, why you have created two separate plant, why can't you use one plant? So they will answer you, okay, the plant A is for retailer, plant B is, you need to understand their business first of all, okay, before implementing anything. So now what is the work for EWM consultant? You ask me what is the functional EWM consultant will do, right? So it will do the question answer. Okay, so in blueprinting phase, there will be a series of meetings. Okay, because the steps which we are performing it within 2 hours, we can configure whole warehouse. Okay, but that is not the point. The point is that you understood the business of your customer. Accordingly, have you understand or ask the correct question, and based on those questions and answer, have you configured the system or not?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, this is all about it. So coming back to the point, we have created supply chain unit, assign it to warehouse, created business partner, assign business partner to your warehouse as entitled party to dispose. That's fine. Okay, now let's move ahead and see the next step. Go to SPRO, IMG, EWM. Okay, master data. Under master data, we have completed this configuration node, this one. Now we will define the warehouse number control. Okay, so now here you have to search for your warehouse Z003, and you need to define certain procedures or standard procedures. Okay, so right now, don't worry, I'll touch upon this later on, but see, these are the standard procedures which you need to assign for your warehouse. So I'm just right now copy paste these things here. Let me see if I miss anything. Okay. Okay, once you assign those things, you need to assign the factory calendar. So 01, and if I go to detail view, I need to also provide these are all the general settings for your warehouse, like what will be the weight unit of measurement. So let's say it's a kg, then time unit of measurement will be in minutes, volume will be in liters, uh, then currency is EUR or USD, whatever it is, and length will be meter square, what it says, warehouse, okay, that's fine. Okay, and I'm saving this. Okay, now this is a very important thing. You need to define all this unit of measurements and all those things. Otherwise, system will not allow you to create your bins. You will get a message that you have not defined the units for your warehouse. Okay, so you need to define this. Okay, now this is also done. Now what is the next step? Okay, this is not required. Acknowledgement, advanced function. Now see, EWM has different licensing. Okay, EWM has a basic EWM features and advanced EWM features. So based on your license or usage module, you need to select it here. So if your customer is saying that, okay, I don't want TM EWM integration, I don't want DAS in the picture, I just wanted to use a basic EWM functionality like inbound process, outbound process, wave management. That's it. I don't want to integrate automated warehouse to EWM. So in those cases, you will just suggest a basic EWM. So in this configuration node, you will just select basic. But here, as we are going to implement advanced EWM settings, so I'm selecting this extended warehouse management. Save this, go back, and given the number range. Now somebody has asked me this question that the business partner number came automatically. Yes. So for whatever you are saving in your SAP system, it will get saved, and at the bottom you will get a number. So let's say if you are creating a purchase order, So you'll create a purchase order, and at the end you will get a message that purchase order number got created. So all the numbers are created, or all the documents which you are creating in your SAP system is having some number, and those numbers are coming from your number range. So similarly in EWM also, you are going to work with lot of documents like warehouse task, warehouse orders, wave management, VAS order, physical inventory document. All those documents, whenever you create those document, there will be numbers will be created, and those numbers will be coming from your number range. So we are creating those number range and assigning those number range for those documents. Okay, so I'm creating those number range for my warehouse. I'll show you the number range. So see, these are the number range for each of your documents. So whenever you create a warehouse task, the warehouse task number will come from this number range automatically in sequential way. Got it? So I'll just copy from the reference one. I'll just check whether my warehouse number range has been added. Yes, it has been added.
So
Okay.
in real-time projects also, you will be always copying these number ranges and
Yes.
or
So whenever you go for a implementation, there will be a standard warehouse. So in that system, it will be plain, but SAP will give you some reference warehouse numbers which you can take. For an example, here I have created Z001, but for your reference, but see, this warehouse will always there in any implementation, so you can take a reference, but you need to like use your brain while copying. Okay, as this is the number range, I can copy, but in all the cases I cannot copy this warehouse, right? Because I have those question answer which I have discussed with my customer, so accordingly I will change or modify those configurations.
okay.
But yeah, in real, if you go for a implementation, any implementation, this is a standard SAP practice which I'm following. But see, I know that a warehouse 001 in this training system is not perfect, so I have created my own warehouse which I'm following.
Okay.
Okay, there is no interval because it's a labor management, that's why. Physical inventory, I need physical inventory Z003. And at the last, whatever number range I have created for each document, I will assign those number ranges. Okay, so I have created 01, 02, 01, no, and so 01, 0, 01, and save. So always use Z003. So for you, it will be always a reference plant Z003. Okay, and save this. Okay, so this is done. Now we are going to create a storage type. Okay, so
Mm, mm,
yeah, go ahead. Ask your
yeah.
question if you have any.
Yeah. So we are talking about the units, right? So so one where so in there you have defined unit kg. So is it like for all the objects coming there, it will be always kg over? We have
No,
to.
this is a general unit of measurement for your warehouse. That generally what you use to measure weight in your warehouse. It's not necessary that all product will be used kg, because all product has its own material master, and in your material master you are going to maintain a unit of measurement for each product. But this is just a general information which you are going to maintain at a warehouse level.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. Um, Now I was searching.
Ashish, for example, when we have to create for example, if I have to create one warehouse, so should I take the reference Z01 or Z03, which you have
You,
created?
for this batch, you are going to always use Z003. Do not use Z001.
Okay,
Okay, you can see that in my Excel sheet that for this batch it is Z003. Okay,
okay, okay. Thank you.
because Z001 is my warehouse and I'm doing lot of R&D in that. So if I'm working on something and because see there are multiple batches are going on, right? And if somebody asks me any question and if I'm doing something to showcase them, then I will use a different warehouse. So in that case, if you're at that time you are copying it, so your details will be wrong. So always use Z003. Okay. Okay, now we'll talk about a warehouse structure. What is this warehouse structure? So far we have discussed plant, storage location. Your warehouse will come under your storage location. And we have created SAP WM warehouse, we have created EWM warehouse, we have assigned together. Okay, now after you create your warehouse, what will be the warehouse structure? So whenever you go for a implementation or any implementation, you have your warehouse blueprint. Okay, so it is somewhat similar kind of this diagram, or maybe much more complicated to this diagram. This diagram is very simple diagram or from the blueprint perspective, but you will get an idea. Okay, so in this warehouse it says that this is your yard. Okay, this is your inbound door, so your all your inbound deliveries or all your freight vendors for your inbound process will come here and do the unloading. Once they do the unloading, they will do this unloading at the staging area. Okay, so this area is representing your high rack. Okay, this is your packing area, deconsolidation area, again a staging area for good issue. Here it is your outbound delivery door or outbound doors where your freight vendor will come for your outbound deliveries for issuing the stock to your customer, right? So this, based on this blueprint, I need to create all my storage type. Okay, what is storage type? Storage type is nothing but a subdivision of my warehouse. Okay, area subdivision of it could be a logical or physical subdivision. For an example, if this is my warehouse 1010, let's say this is my warehouse 1010. So in this warehouse I have one section called high rack area. I have one section called staging area. I have one section called packaging area. I have one section called doors. So for each area of my warehouse will represent as a storage type. Okay, so that's why it has been defined as a physical or logical subdivision of my warehouse complex. Okay, now, under the storage type, I can further subdivide the storage type. Let's say this is a high rack. So I have two sections in my high rack, fast moving and slow moving section. So I'm further subdividing my high rack area into two segments. So that is called as a storage section. Okay. And under the storage section, I have bins. Okay, and bin is the smallest unit of your warehouse where you are actually going to store your product. So let's say in this example, you have high racks. So in each high rack, there is a square, empty square area or frame where you are going to place your product. So we'll call it as a bin. Okay. Any questions so far?
I just
No, Ashish.
can you just repeat one more time? I just missed out. Can you just repeat one more time?
Yeah, yeah, sure,
This
sure.
only this area.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So the warehouse, so this is your blueprint of your warehouse. So basically you have different sections in your warehouse. Okay, different areas, predefined areas. Each area has its own role. For an example, there is a high rack area where you are going to store your product. There is a packing area where you are going to pack your product before sending it to your customer. There is an area called staging area for inbound where you are going to do the unloading for your inbound delivery. There is a door which is being assigned to your freight vendor for unloading, right? So each area of your warehouse, okay, or each logical or subdivision of your warehouse, will call it as a storage type. Okay, you can further subdivide your storage type via storage section. For an example, if you have high rack, so you have fast moving and slow moving area. Okay, so you can further subdivide from the storage section. In each storage section, you have bins. Bin is the smallest organizational unit in warehouse where you are actually going to store your product.
Okay.
Okay, if I just give you a diagram, okay, let's say this is your high rack area. Okay, so let's say this is your high rack area
Okay.
0010. Okay, and here I'm saying that, okay, the bins or the rows which are at the top, they are slow moving area. Okay, because it's hard to reach out those pallet or the boxes because it's on a height, right? So it is a
Yeah,
slow
yeah.
moving area, and this is a fast moving area because it's very
Yeah,
easy to
whatever
access,
the downside we can take easily and we can. So these are the fast moving items, so we will keep it in the downside.
right? So I'm further, because see, there is no like boundary, right? It is a logical or physical subdivision of your storage type is called as a storage section. So similarly, this particular area of your warehouse, will call it as a storage type, high rack storage type. Okay,
Okay.
likewise, we can further subdivide into storage section, and each like smallest organizational unit, like this particular area or this empty area, is called as a bin. Okay, where you are
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
storing your product. Make sense?
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. But what is logical subdivision? Physical, I understand. Logical means
Logical means which does not have any boundary. If I say that
it's like a open
uh,
area.
sorry,
It's like a open area, like
yes, like a
doesn't have the
open area,
boundary.
yeah, does not have boundary, like the here you do not have
Yeah, yeah.
anything. Okay, like
Yeah,
it's
got it,
just a
got it. It's a
logical.
open area. We can keep bulk of material which doesn't have the boundary.
Right, right, right. Okay,
Okay, fine, fine.
so okay, now the points to be note here, the storage section is not a mandatory in EWM. Okay, so people who worked on SAP WM, they'll say that our storage section is a mandatory, but in EWM it's not mandatory. Okay, you can directly create bins and assign to your storage type. Okay, now okay, now we'll create storage sections, or sorry, storage type for our warehouse. Okay, let's take some blueprinting. We'll create doors, we'll create staging area, we'll create one high rack area, outbound doors for our outbound deliveries or outbound area, out staging area for outbound packing, deconsolidation area. Those things we will create now. Okay, so where you can create, you can go to SPRO, EWM, master data. Under master data, you have this define storage types. Go here. So I'll create one storage type high rack. I will create, where is deconsolidation 80? It's not there. Strange. Oh yeah, it's here. Deconsolidation work center or deconsolidation area. Then I'll select staging area for my good receipt, staging area for my good issue. So I'm talking about this area, okay, where you do loading and unloading activity for your inbound and outbound delivery. Then I will create doors for good receipt and create doors for my outbound delivery or good issue. Then what other things I can create here? Mm, yeah, I guess that's sufficient. Or I can create
Can you
one more.
please explain that what is it? Second one, description storage
Which one?
1005 and all. 1005.
100.
No, what is the heading? Storage storage type, huh?
Yeah, it's a storage type.
Storage type. Okay, okay. So
Okay.
that number always will be constant, right?
You can create any number, to be very honest, but as we are following this blueprint, so I'm taking the same numbers. Okay, so if you go
Oh,
to your reference warehouse, so your reference warehouse will have this, but you can give any number with alphanumeric number, 4-digit alphanumeric number to your storage type.
okay, okay.
Okay, this is a standard SAP practice. Okay, like if you have worked on SAP MM, WM, EWM, so this is a standard SAP practice which we follow. But right now I'm taking the standard like names or numbers for storage type, so that we can map this blueprint scenario. Basically, this is the same um, blueprint which you will get it in your certification book or something like that. So I'm taking the same thing. Okay,
Okay.
so this is my high-rec storage type. Okay, now there are so many configuration here. Okay, and each configuration or each this indicator will represent some different business scenario. Okay, so via this screen you can do a lot of or map so many business scenario. Gradually we'll see most of the things here. Okay, or we'll get to know that what these indicators do. But I'll take today I'll take some few of the important indicator here, and gradually when we see a different business scenario, we'll revisit this node and we'll see other configurations as well. Okay, so first of all, storage type role. What is the storage type role? Why you are creating this storage type? Okay, so this is a high rec storage type which you are creating. So why you are creating high rec storage type in your warehouse? Any wild guess?
Space, to save space. I don't know.
To store the product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
store the
you
product.
yeah, because this storage type is to store the product. You will come here, you will place the stock. Whenever it requires, you will remove the stock, right? So basically it is a standard storage area. So if you see here, so I'll give the role as standard storage type because I'm using it for the standard storage purpose. Okay, now there are different roles. So if I create a door, let me, where is that slide gone? It was here, sorry. So if I create a storage type for door, then I will not use this role as a standard storage type, because that storage type role will be as act as a door. So I'll select F. Okay, if I create a storage type for my staging area for my inbound, then I will select a role called where is that, staging area group D. Okay, if I'm creating a deconsolidation area, so basically that is a work center. We'll come to that, what is work center, when we discuss deconsolidation. Okay, so it is a work center, so I'll select E. So based on your storage type role, you will define that storage type role here in your configuration. How, like why you are creating that storage type, you need to convey to your system. Okay, make sense?
Ashish, I have a little doubt here, and it's
Yeah.
this side. So if I will choose a door, then is there would be any impact on the process also, like I would not be able to do any good receipt on this storage type?
Why you
It's
want
like,
to assign role door to your hierarch storage type?
no, no, not higher work. If I have created a different storage type, then in that case, what is the basically use of this storage type role?
Because
Means
when
if
you
I have,
do a good
hmm,
receipt, or when you
hmm,
create a work center, so at that time you are going to assign your storage type to your work center so that it can act as a work center.
okay.
Okay, so
So,
if
so
you are,
it will basically increase or maximize other different functionalities for this storage types
okay,
on the selection of this storage type role, right?
okay, let me complete this first. Okay, so let's say you are creating a door. Okay, door storage type, and that storage type will act as a door. Okay, and by mistake you have
Yes.
assigned the role as standard storage type. So when you assign that storage type to your door as an entity, at that that time you will get an error message that this storage type is not the correct role which you are
Okay.
assigning to
Okay.
your door.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
because it makes sense, right? Because that,
Yes. Yes.
yeah, it's a very common sense. If it is a like you are going to store your product in a storage type, then obviously it is a standard storage type. So how, based on your blueprint, you will decide that okay, this area is going to be used as a storing of my goods. Okay, let's say if you are creating a bulk storage type, then again you are going to use that area or that storage type to store your product. Fixed bin will be again the same, the standard storage type. But if I'm creating a yard as a storage type where my trucks will be going to be parked, so I'm not going to use a standard storage type for that. I have a separate role for this, so which will be G. Okay,
Okay.
so you need to ask what that storage type is going to act as, right? And accordingly we'll define those roles.
Okay.
Okay, so here I'm selecting or like I'm taking the standard one, so it is blank. Then this quantity HU will take this when we discuss handling unit management. The rest of the things we'll discuss it later on. There is a concept called availability group which will take it in our next session. So I will select Z003 for my warehouse, then press enter, Z003. So again, this rack storage type is again I'm going to store my product in it. So that's why it is role is standard. Okay, I'll press this, I'll remove this. Okay, now this is my deconsolidation area. So deconsolidation area is your work center. What is work center? Work center is an area in your warehouse where you are going to perform certain activity. Okay, so deconsolidation is you are going to deconsolidate your handling unit. You are going to dissolve your handling unit. You will remove those product and pack it in new handling unit. So that activity is called it as a deconsolidation. Don't worry, in detail we are going to see it in our next class or upcoming classes. Then you have packaging area. A packaging area is again a work center because you are going to perform certain activity on that area. Okay, you are going to packing, you are going to do a packing, so that is again a work center. So whenever you have this work center, the role will be E. Okay, so what is E? E stands for your work center. So this is right. So I will Z003, I will create this. I'll remove availability group. Don't worry about the availability group. I'll come to this. Okay. Then you have 9010. What is 9010? 9010 is a staging area for my inbound document. So I'm going to unload and place those stock for a temporary purpose, right? So for that, I'm selecting role D. What is D? D stands for your staging area group. So this is right. Then I will press enter, Z003, remove
Ashish, so
availability
there are
group.
some parameter like the put away rules and confirm put away. So will you explain later or?
Yes, I'll explain it later when we discuss about put away. Let's first of all try to set up this, and then we'll discuss about this put away rules. We'll also see what is this put away complete. But you need to keep some patience, okay? Like because if I explain you this right now, first of all you will
Mhm.
not able to understand the concept properly. The second thing is I'll face a lot of questions from you because some of you have seen this or entered into warehouse kind of environment for the first time, so there will be a lot of
Yes,
questions.
true.
The third thing is
Mhm.
there will be a multiple business case or multiple business scenario involved in it, and I cannot cover because in this screen only there will be 500 plus scenarios. Even I am not sure of all of them. Okay, because it's not possible for me to explain each and every scenario, but based on our syllabus we are going to cover most of the indicators or most of the selection parameters. Don't worry. Okay, we'll cover it most
Okay.
of them. Okay.
Ashish, one question that storage type, whenever you are changing the warehouse number, it was automatically changing the another storage type automatically. So can you
Yes,
explain?
because I have selected all the storage type in my initial screen. I'll show you that.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Then you have doors. Okay, so 9040 door is for my good issue. So here it has taken 9025, that's fine. And 9010 is slightly different, but it's okay. I'll create this for good issue. So see, all my storage type got created, and I will press save. Okay. Now you ask me how it was taking automatically, right? Because when I go for this first time, I wanted to copy that because I wanted to use the same warehouse number. So I selected multiple entries, and once I copy this, when I change the warehouse number and press enter, it will go to the next entry which I have selected in my previous screen.
Okay, okay, clear, clear.
Okay. See, some of the things you also need to explore it. Okay, like by see, somebody told me like if you want to learn how to swim, by reading or by looking into somebody who is swimming or reading the book how to swim, you are not going to learn that. You need to dive into the pool and learn it, right? Okay.
Sure, sure.
Then you have storage section. So what is storage section? We discuss about storage section. So further subdivision of your storage type, but it is not a mandatory. So we'll just create a storage section for one of the storage type, not for the all. So let's take Z001. Let's take this one, 20, copy Z003. So I'm creating fast moving and slow moving area for my storage type 20. Okay, and I'll save this. Okay, now what is the time? Okay, still okay, we already exceeded the time. Okay. Okay, now tomorrow's session we will discuss about bin activity area, bin sorting, and availability group. Okay, tomorrow is Tuesday. Okay, so we'll take tomorrow. So far, any questions before we wrap up?
No,
Okay.
Ashish, not from my end.
Hi,
Okay.
Ashish. Farid here. See, I am new to this SAP course actually. I am
Hmm.
basically a SharePoint and .NET background.
Okay.
So our organization is planning for a warehouse management solutions in
Mm-hmm.
another 6 months. So that is the reason I am, I am planning to join in this course. Actually, I am joining in this course.
Okay.
So what is the prerequisite actually? I understand, most of the participants have some SAP background, I think so. Is this any prerequisite for me to understand completely?
So
Uh,
yes, there should be some SAP background. If you do not have SAP background, at least you should have a functional background. When I say functional background means a warehouse background, you should be working in warehouse, or you should at least know what is warehouse terminologies are. Because see, uh, I personally, if you ask me, like how much SAP would be required to learn any of the SAP module functionally, I'll say that SAP is not a prerequisite, because when I learn my first functional module, I don't
mhm.
have any idea about SAP. That's fine,
Okay.
but at least
Okay.
you should have functional knowledge. So if I say that, because I learned SAP MM, okay, so in
Mm.
MM module, I don't know what is SAP totally. I tell you, but I know what is purchase order, what is
Yes.
purchasing requisition. First of all, you
Mhm.
need to create purchasing requisition. Based on that, you will create a purchase order. Okay, so those are the functional thing you should know. So if you want to learn warehouse, not an issue if you do not have any background on SAP, but at least you should know what is warehouse, how it works. Even though that
Yes.
is like, if you are a fresher, then it's fine, I can explain you on certain extent, because I'm going in very depth. Okay, I'm not
Okay.
sure whether you have attended the demo session or the second class, but I'm going very slow because I know some of you are not from warehouse background but wanted to learn warehouse. Okay, so that's why I'm going very slow. I'm going to learn each and every terminology here, and I'm not going it at everything at once. Okay, if I want, I can explain you the storage type configuration. So somebody
Okay.
asked me why you are not showing that in last batch. Also there was one guy who has some prior experience on WM, and he was saying
Mm-hmm.
that explain me each and every thing. Okay, and it is not possible. Okay,
Exactly.
so everybody will not get able to grab the things, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
gradually,
Correct.
if I explain you the business scenario, and then if I explain you the function, it is
Yes.
there are high chances it will trigger you, right? Or you will
Yeah.
be able to
Correct.
remember.
Actually,
So
I can understand those terminologies. The SCM functions like purchase order, receipts, those kind of terminologies. I'm familiar with that one actually because we worked in those areas also. So functionally, I'm okay actually. Yeah.
yeah,
So in
so just
SAP perspective, is there any prerequisite? This is what my question actually.
you should know a basic how to navigate, what are these buttons do, like back button. Naveen can send you some navigation or some details on how to navigate those things and all those things. So it's not that hard. Okay,
Sure.
you
Sure.
can go through that recording, or there is a document he can provide you. He can just go through that. I hope you have the SAP access, server access. You can go, and rest of the things I'm already explaining you in very detail, like go to SPR or transaction. And somebody asked me also, like, if like don't worry about your question is like, if you feel that it's dumb or stupid, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Like all of us here are learning, and there are some new things also for me as well. Like even if I have spent 15 plus years of experience in SAP,
Mm-hmm.
there are some business scenarios which are new to me, because like in SAP nobody knows everything, like nobody is there. Okay,
Correct.
because I'm working in some another industry which has some different scenario, and out of the sudden some end user is coming for this training, and he will
Mm-hmm.
come up or ask me some question regarding his industry or his specific scenarios. So there could be a possibility that I'm not aware of it, and it would be a learning for me. But
Okay.
I can assure you that if you ask me some such questions, I will come up
Mm-hmm.
with the answers. Okay.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. Thank you then. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem. Okay, then we'll wrap up the session and we'll connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay,
Okay,
and
Ashish. Okay.
we'll try to connect on time. Like everybody will try to connect on time, because this batch is for like weekday batch, and it is like for 1 hour or 45 minutes. So we have some like time crunch in it. So like we'll make sure that we'll
Thanks for watching demo.